get his thoughts on the stadium stuff. And then in the noon hour, a different angle to the Patrick Mahomes injury. Joel Corey, former NFL agent, will call us up in the noon hour today, ask him about where the Chiefs sit cap-wise heading into the offseason, and also does a injury to Patrick Mahomes change perhaps the likelihood of how the restructure of a contract or an extension for Mahomes would look this year? Does that change anything at all? So that's coming up. You guys know the text line always open, 913-586-7965, 913-586-7965. Video stream up and running on YouTube, Twitch, X. Make sure you subscribe. Don't miss any of the shows here on 96.5 The Fan. We obviously start today with the news that came out about 2 hours or so after our show yesterday, which is more and more about Monday, which is when the LCC meeting was going to be taking place in Topeka. Bob Fesco, of course, has been kind of all over this the last couple of weeks, telling you that, hey, keep an eye on the 22nd of December. And guess what Monday is? The 22nd of December. Here's the latest from him this morning on Fesco and Dusty.
Are the Chiefs going to Topeka on Monday is the big question. And the answer to that is, I believe yes, but I also understand that there's a couple of more things that need to be tightened up before they go to the Topeka. If the Chiefs are heading to Topeka on Monday, and I'm talking Mark Donovan, Clark Hunt, those guys, if they're headed to Topeka on Monday, then we know the Chiefs are definitely 100% moving. And I do believe the Chiefs are 100% moving. I do believe that deal has already been consummated, quite frankly, from the conversations that I've had. And I do believe that they will announce on Monday that they are going to the state of Kansas. And that's, that's where we sit right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. They've given every opportunity for Missouri. They gave the first right of refusal to Missouri, and Missouri refused. I mean, and that's what it was. I mean, there's no other way to kind of describe that. And so I think right now the LCC, which is the board that approves the Star Bond District, is meeting on Monday. That meeting's been scheduled for 3 weeks. We've been talking about that meeting for a while now. I kept saying December 22nd was a big day. It's the LCC meeting. And at that meeting, they can do one of two things: approve a stadium for the Chiefs, or they can approve an extension to get more things worked out. Most people that I've talked to, I should say the majority of people that I have talked to, have said there's no extension that's going to be ratified. It is ratification of the stadium going to Kansas City, Kansas. Now, exactly where are they going to go over there? I said a couple of months ago the Chiefs have 5 plots of land that they currently own and have control of over in Wyandotte County where they can build the stadium.
So that was the latest this morning from Bob, talking about the expectation is that Monday there's going to be a meeting to approve and finalize a deal for the Chiefs to go to the state of Kansas. And, of course, for years we've been talking about this possibility. Yes. And we'll get to the Royals end of this a little bit later on, because I think that's really interesting to see how that is now playing out. And, frankly, the thought was for the last couple weeks that it would be the Royals maybe doing this announcement this Monday, not the Chiefs, and it kind of just flipped. And there's some reasons for that. But a week or so ago, all the momentum was that Monday might have been a Royals type of announcement. And now everybody seems to think it's going to be the Chiefs announcing that they are moving to the state of Kansas. And we all know this is the move is all about your belief, Cody, if you're Clark Hunt, and the business side to maximize your revenues as a business, as an organization. And what can you do there versus what can't you do in Missouri?
So, funny enough, the Kansas Chiefs part of it bothers me less, just because I didn't like the idea of sunk cost at Arrowhead. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't come with problems. They will never be able to replicate what they had at Arrowhead from an environment
for sure.
standpoint. I'm sorry. I don't care if they got placed to tailgate. I don't care. Like, it will never replicate the energy that building has. It just won't.
Sure.
I don't see any, and they'll try to pitch that they're going to make it, and it's going to feel the same. And and I agree that the fans have made the atmosphere, but I don't think it'll be the same fans in the building on the Kansas side. Missouri only has themselves to blame, to be clear. They had an opportunity, and I think the Chiefs hurt them, because I still think the Chiefs half-assed their way on the Jackson County side. If you still make me go back and say, what was the biggest reason that vote didn't pass? It was the Chiefs. They half-assed some terrible renovation plan, like they didn't even care to stay.
I don't know if I agree that was
at
the biggest
Truman Sports Complex.
Man, look, I don't agree that was the biggest
others.
Reason that it didn't pass. But we can get into that again if
and
we want.
We can talk about which version you think or what you think was the biggest reason. I think it was that the Chiefs really did not care about staying all that hard, or at least based on those plans of being connected to the Royals in that same way. And so they didn't really put together a good plan. So if they end up in Kansas, I think it made more sense that your momentum in building a new stadium comes with when you have Patrick Mahomes, the revenue end of it in there. I don't think it's that inconvenient, because football is something you go to every other week, 8 times a year. It's a full day event anyway. So I don't find it inconvenient if I have to drive further or go further. I think that's really common in these other markets. So those things don't bother me. The atmosphere is the thing that's going to suck. As in, it not suck. It will lose its luster.
Yeah.
And that part stinks. And it'll feel weird that the Chiefs are on this other side. But it's not, I don't think the Chiefs are bad. The Royals one still gets me, and I don't know where they're going to end up right now. That still feels like a mess. But it does feel like, the Chiefs are just going to end up in Kansas. And,
look,
Missouri had their chances to keep them.
If, in fact, this happens the way everybody believes it's going to happen on Monday, there's no way you replicate Arrowhead. Arrowhead is special. The history, everything around it, you can't just pick up that stadium and drop it on the Kansas side and have exactly what it is. But we all know how the NFL has trended, and we've all seen what has happened around the NFL with these other stadiums and maximizing revenues. And it is ultimately, we sometimes forget, it is a business, and the best business opportunity is moving to Kansas for the Chiefs. It just is. And whether that's suites, whether it's the personal seat licenses, which is going to be problematic for a lot of people, not everybody, but for a lot of people. Now, if you have a season ticket right now, I think you guys all have seen it as well. Let's not act like, Cody, during this run that the ticket prices haven't started to get pretty crazy, already at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Now, there's not personal seat licenses across the entire building the way that every stadium is doing now. Even the Bills' new stadium up in New York, which is going to be outdoors, by the way, not a dome stadium. The Bills have PSLs, these personal seat licenses that obviously give you an opportunity to have the rights to those seats for events beyond just your football games. Let's say there's a Taylor Swift concert at the stadium, you would have first right of refusal to buy tickets, or any other concert that would happen at the stadium. Yep. But the notion of what the atmosphere is going to be like, one, none of us actually know, but you and I have been to the new Raiders Stadium, Allegiant. We've been to some other dome stadium. I have not been to SoFi, but
I hope it's not a dome. I hope it's retractable.
We can get into that as well. Yeah, I would prefer retractable, but they keep phrasing it as a dome, and I don't know if they mean retractable roof or actual dome, but we can go there as well if you want. But to your point about just the difference in stadium, like I've told you, I think you I don't know if it was your first stadium, but Arrowhead was the first stadium I ever went to. First sporting event I ever went to.
Kaufman was the first sporting event I ever went to. But
and we can talk about the Royals later.
Losing that in the same
it sure looks
breath
like
one way or the other.
Yeah,
similar vibe.
So Arrowhead, there's not there will
first football game I went to was Arrowhead.
So Arrowhead, in terms of memories and people have unbelievable ties to that building. That's something that you can't replicate. You can't replace that. And there will be some fans that are priced out of a stadium that exists in Kansas, or any new stadium. It looks like it's going to be Kansas, but any new stadium. That is a fact. Yeah, I can't push back on that. That is very true. And creating the exact same atmosphere, you won't be able to do that.
No.
Now, there'll be tailgating. There'll be the gigantic parking lots to still tailgate. It won't be the exact same Lot J that you were going to for the last 50 years for some people, right?
Change is hard.
The history part, that's going to be rough for a lot of people. But this idea that nobody that has tickets now that goes to the stadium at Truman Sports Complex is going to go to the games at the Legends. That's just also not true.
No, look, I'll be honest. If you come on here and you're like, well, I'm not rooting for the Chiefs anymore, they're going to Kansas. I don't believe you. And for the few of you that will actually stick through with it, they will pick up new fans, and life is life. And so I understand that notion of it. Look, there are definitely benefits. You and I talked about this before. I wanted them to build a new stadium. And not because I don't think Arrowhead is a historic venue. It's that it's a historic venue that you can't save forever. And Kaufman and Arrowhead both got stuck in this no man's land of history, where they aren't Fenway, they aren't Wrigley, they aren't Lambeau. They weren't built at a time that put them in this other era, and they kind of got stuck in no man's land where they're built in the 70s. Mm-hmm. They look like they were built in the 70s. And I still think what made Arrowhead was the tailgating and the people. And so they will try to replicate that. Look, if it's a dome, I'm going to be pissed. I think that would be a huge oversight and a mistake by the Chiefs. So we'll see.
Well, it's definitely not going to be open air.
It's either going to be retractable. I understand the mix.
It's going to be either a dome or a retractable.
But if it's straight dome, I think that's a mistake. I really do. I think that would be a mistake. So we'll see. I think it should be retractable, and I hope it is retractable based on that. But yes, getting this can mean good economic things for the city, the same as putting a downtown stadium for the Royals or having a new stadium for this because, yes, they will have a chance to get a Final Four. Or they will, because Clark Hunt is good in league circles, they will have a chance at a Super Bowl. I'm not saying they'll get those things, but they'll have a chance. They'll have a chance at WrestleMania. They probably will get WrestleMania in a new stadium, right?
College football playoff semifinal.
College football playoff semifinal. Some things that wouldn't have existed if they renovate Arrowhead can, and some of them will, come to Kansas City as a result of the bright, shiny new toy, which is why you and I both were pro new stadium. And I'm not anti it going to Kansas. I'm more anti the Royals going to Kansas, and not because of you and I, you grew up all in Kansas, I grew up all in Missouri, and somehow we're the only two people who do not subscribe to the screw Kansas, it's a loser state, and screw Missouri, it's a loser state on your end, and we just hate each other because of the other sides. I think there are bias, like there are in any things. There are things that you think Kansas does better, and I think things Missouri do better, or whatever.
Absolutely.
Right, that exist inside of this. I do not inherently think it's bad that the Chiefs are going to Kansas. I just think it's still going to have to be done right. The crazy part is, like, never seen a renovation from them, never a rendering from them. We have no idea. They've not even specified a site or what the stadium would look like or what a rendering would like, any of it, other than they said they're committed to tailgating. So anywhere they go, they'll have parking.
Yeah, that's a requirement.
That's ideally designed better than their current parking.
I look, as far as the Kansas and Missouri thing, like if you're someone listening today, and obviously I know we have plenty of people that are listening that live in Jackson County, I would be bummed out today as well. I'm not trying to act like you should be just totally fine and have no emotional reaction. No, if in fact Monday,
it's like a funeral.
The announcement is what we all expect an announcement to be, that the Chiefs are leaving Jackson County and going to Kansas. Yeah, I don't expect you to be so fired up and excited that they're leaving your backyard. Now, I would argue from a tax perspective, you can still go to the game and you're not going to have to pay for it anymore. I mean, there is that element to it.
Yeah.
As far as, on the Kansas side, I can speak from my point of view. Like, I've gone to the state of Missouri for just about every sporting event, with the exception of either going to college football games or going to Sporting KC, right? Other than that, I've gone to Kemper as a kid, T-Mobile Center, Arrowhead, Kauffman, you name it, right? And I've had no issue doing that. That's all I've known. And so I think that's the difference, right? People in Missouri, all they've known is that right in their backyard, they've gone to sporting events. And there's a sense of pride with that, and they should have pride. On the flip side, if in fact the Chiefs go to Kansas, I will be prideful about that team existing in the state that I grew up in and live in. So it works both ways, right?
Sure.
And
it
that's
all
how
lands in the metro area. You can still say you're a Kansas Cityan and the team plays in your city. It's not, I don't think that changes.
And I don't want to ignore, there are obviously serious economic repercussions for KC-Mo and for Jackson County. If one of them, if not both, we'll see on the Royals as time goes on, if both were to leave the state of Missouri. Like, of course, there are major repercussions to that. And there are consequences. Well, you're right about, going back to the April vote almost 2 years ago now, April 2024. It's crazy.
Yep.
Going back to that, there's a lot of reasons that thing failed miserably. And as we all know, that was not a close vote. This wasn't like, it failed. What was it? 16 points, 13 points, 16
Something
points. Failed. There's a ton of reasons for that.
Frank White, the plans. Do we have to continue the list? Some of it is just like, and some of the reasons it failed Gold is just a lack. We just don't discuss this enough. There is a massive national lack of interest in public funding for sports stadiums.
It's harder than ever to get it done.
Yes.
Yeah.
A bunch of these teams and these markets who used to just get blank checks cut by like the city, by the county, by the municipality, because Missouri did chip in some money. They actually got some funding done. But then Kansas City and Jackson County, all Mayor Lucas ever did is, we've offered funding with zero details. He's partly to blame here as well. He doesn't want to hear it, but he's definitely partly to blame. And it'll end up being a stain on, this works, governor, state legislatures, local government, like city councils and mayors and all this other stuff for losing it. There's a million reasons why he did it. And look, I don't blame. The text line earlier said, you're blaming Jackson County voters for saying they have a chance. And you just said why it failed, because they gave us a half-assed plan.
They did have a chance, though.
I get that. But this is years ago, so there's no reason for you to remember this conversation, unlike us who actually had to have it. At the time, Alex and I both had said, we understood the reservations about it and why we didn't think the Chiefs really rolled out a very good plan, why the Royals making these last second changes to stuff like, oh, we won't close our street, will, and the miscommunication hurt the things. But in the end, we said, even if you don't like the plan, be warned that if you do not vote for this one, even if you don't like it, that Kansas will come a-calling, and it will most likely open up a full conversation and war between the two to try to get you. Like, it wasn't that it was you deserve not to vote for it, but I was just warning that if it didn't pass, that this could happen.
For sure. And people nobody likes to be threatened, right? And so people took that. I think people took that, if we're going back to April of 2024, people took it as a threat. And I don't think it really was. It was reality, though. And now, fast forward to December of 2025, reality is now, I think, starting to hit. And that is, of course, that one of the teams it looks like for sure is going to leave. And then we'll see what happens with the Royals. All signs are pointing to them probably leaving, Cody, as well. But that's not a done deal as far as the Royals jumping the state line as well. But there are consequences to, of course, any vote, any election. And if you're someone, and by the way, plenty of people in Jackson County did vote for it too. So there's somebody listening right now that's in Jackson County that's saying, hey, I did vote for it. So I want to recognize that. Like,
majority.
Of course, it was a wide margin of defeat for the ballot measure 2 years ago or whatever. But there are plenty of people in Jackson County that understood what you were saying and said, hey, I might not like the plan, but I also know the devastating aspect potentially of losing one or both of these franchises. And here we are. We're about to see the impact of one of those teams leaving on Monday if everything goes the way I know Fesco and plenty of people are reporting at this time.
It's going to be fascinating to follow. Obviously, there hasn't been any substantive updates since all the stuff started coming out yesterday.
Well, people are going to be on the Chiefs and the state side are going to be tight-lipped until Monday anyway, at this point in time, publicly at least.
I mean, it sounds like it's a done deal on the Chiefs end. Now, I will say, a lot of people casting some doubts on the Royals end is like, as sure as that sounded, 48 hours, 72 hours ago. So we can talk about them a little bit later, including one local lawmaker, right? Didn't Ty Masterson walk back part of his comments?
Yeah, when we get into the Royals stuff, we can talk about that. So Ty Masterson on the Kansas side of the state line, he was on, I think it was at KCMO Talk Radio, I think it was this morning.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the statement that his office put out earlier, or yesterday, I'm sorry, which was saying essentially that the Royals are, fully committed to Kansas. And he kind of walked that back this morning a little bit. So we'll see where that goes. But what that statement said yesterday was that the Royals are not going to have, with the state of Kansas, anything finalized this year. And it said, or the upcoming legislative session. Now, that session starts January 5th and ends in May. But as you know, this goes back to even how we were discussing the sports betting stuff. If they being the LCC, wants to call a meeting in February, they can call a meeting in February. But we'll see how the Royals thing is a little bit further off.
I also saw that they essentially just described it as like a paper deadline of December 31st, right? Like, that's the end of this kind of thing is the same thing we said before. I don't think it was ever a hard deadline, but Monday's a big day. Big day, especially if you want the Chiefs in Kansas, don't want the Chiefs in Kansas. Whichever version of it you want, we're going to get there. The Royals, by the way, we'll talk to J.J. Picollo coming up in 10 minutes. The Royals general manager and president of baseball ops will join us coming up here in 10 minutes. I will say, Royals made another move. Matt Strom's back. Did you look at the photo of what Matt Strom looked like when he played here versus what he looks like
I've seen the long hair now and everything. Because I've seen him pitch for the Phillies.
Dramatically different looking human being.
Yeah. If you've watched any postseason baseball and stuff recently or whatever, you've noticed.
Kramer made the good comp. He looks like Nicolas Cage in Con Air.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, the hair a little bit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I could see that. Where's the bunny, Just make him see if he'll say that line as a part of a social media thing. Yeah. No, it's, and I know we're going to talk about it with JJ in a couple minutes. I'm not saying that these are needle movers in the sense that the Royals added 10 wins, right? But I think what's lost in this is they have gotten better, and I figured out how. So other than they got better players, because they traded Jonathan Bolin and they traded away Angel Zerpa for Matt Strom, Nick Mears, and Isaac Collins. These are three people who could very well be big players in your bullpen and your starting left fielder. And you're like, well, there's an inequity. Like the Royals got too much for what they gave up, is the truth. I think they got way too better in the deal. I figured out how. they added $7.5 million in payroll in taking these players on. It's pretty simple math. They paid the money to take on the salary to get the better players in exchange for this, which is something I like seeing, even if it's only $7.5 million. They traded reliever for reliever, added Collins, and then said, "Oh, we'll eat the money. We'll take on the additional."
Well, because Strom is 33 years old, so he's way past he's way past arbitration and everything.
He's making real money.
He's making real money at this point in the big leagues, and so that's where you're at. And as you said, you lost a lefty in Serpa, and you go and you acquire a lefty now in Matt Strom. So you get a lefty back in your bullpen as well, because we knew once they traded Serpa, they probably needed to go find another lefty for the pen, and they went out and did that very quickly. Yeah.
Same thing. It's like they found a better one. Matt Strom's been better. He's been a 2B WAR player 3 years in a row. He's been one of the top lefties in baseball the last 3 years in a row. He's pitched 60-plus innings in each, has around a 2 ERA over the last 2 seasons, and has pitched in the postseason.
Yeah, got some experience.
So it's
there.
about being a playoff pitcher at times in high leverage moments, and so those things just kind of.
I just think they've made some really smart moves over the last week. You laid out multiple, not even including just the Michael Garcia extension, and we'll talk about that with JJ in just a couple minutes as well. But some really smart moves to, as you said, kind of incrementally improve the roster. They're none of the moves are like, oh my gosh,
5 wins.
Yeah. But if Isaac Collins has to be your everyday left fielder, you can see why that would work if they don't go and make another trade. And by the way, if they make another trade for an outfielder, all of a sudden, if Isaac Collins is a platoon player or coming off the bench, you're feeling even better about that as well. They're giving themselves some options for the final month and a half or two, plus of the offseason before we get to spring training in Arizona as well. Thinking of the Royals, though, up next, let's talk to the general manager and VP of Baseball Ops, JJ Picollo. We'll ask him about the news today with the Matt Strom trade, Michael Garcia extension. Have they had any discussions with anybody else about a potential extension in the Royals organization? All that and more coming up next right here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, good news. FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that's tough to beat. Right now, new customers in Missouri can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more, you can bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So download FanDuel today and head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join the excitement. Remember, new Missouri customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. Because Missouri, it's time to play your game of FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA, and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks. And truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity, your energy will kick up, your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us, and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan and the other place, especially with these great game day specials. 8 wings and a basket of tots for $12 plus $4 domestic OP cups. The other place, the next best thing to being at the game.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Zero, like in 0% financing. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. The 2025 Subaru Share the Love event. Subaru will donate $250 to a charity of your choice to help those in need this holiday.
And locally, you can choose Hillcrest Transitional Housing. Lee Summit Subaru will also donate $50. Subaru of America will donate $250 per vehicle sold or leased during the promotional period, and store contribution may be combined with Subaru of America donation.
Hello, Kansas City. Christopher Youngers here with Cafe Trio. The seasons, they are changing. And if you haven't seen Cafe Trio during the holidays, from Halloween, the Plaza Lights, and Christmas with all of our decorations, well, then you've missed out on one of the most seasonally spectacular dining experiences in town. Offering live music, very spirited holiday decorations, and farm-to-table fresh menus, Cafe Trio is the place to be for the holidays. 45th and Main, CafeTrioKC.com.
Play Kansas Lottery's holiday scratch tickets for a chance to win up to $100,000 instantly. Enter tickets into Play On for a chance to win bonus drawings. See KSLottery.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Drinking and driving will change your whole world. The next time you're out with your friends, consider what would happen if you got pulled over after drinking. Like the legal fees, or the time in court, or a DUI on your record. Your decision to drink and drive could change someone else's world too, if you hurt or kill them in a crash. Instead, what if your decision to call a sober ride changed your world for the better? Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Brian Baldinger. At the Home Depot, Makita tools are built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts, who know the job's only done when it's done right. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year, performance that pays off. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best, available at the Home Depot. How pros get more done.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Now when I say nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide. Is both. Nationwide. Is both. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
This season, enjoy stress-free comfort with easy booking and trusted service from Anthony. Save up to $4,500 on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
All right, we're just getting started here on a Friday in Kansas City. We'll get back into the stadium conversation, of course, with the expectation now on Monday. Perhaps a big announcement in regards to the Chiefs moving to the state of Kansas. So we'll get back to your text on that in about 25 minutes or so. But let's talk some Royals baseball. A lot has been going on over at Kauffman Stadium with the Royals this offseason, and there's still a lot of offseason to go, but it's perfect time to check in with JJ Picollo, General Manager, Vice President of Baseball Ops with the Royals. JJ, I'll start with the news today, though, here in the last hour or so. You guys get a trade done with the Phillies to bring back Matt Strahm. Just take us, I guess, behind the scenes a little bit. How did that come together, and why were you guys interested in bringing back Matt Strahm?
Well, first of all, we're really excited to have Matt back in a Royals uniform. We obviously have a long history with him, have known him since he was in junior college, and he's gone on to do great things in the major leagues. And really over the last 3 seasons, he's been one of the best left-handed relievers in the game. So when there was an opportunity to acquire Matt, we certainly were interested in Matt even prior to our trade last week, where we sent Zerpa, one of our left-handed relievers, to Milwaukee, but that hole became even greater. So we immediately started turning a little bit and trying to set our sights on some of the left-handed relievers that were available in the game. And, Matt's a good one. So it certainly gives us somebody in the back end of our bullpen to throw the 7th, 8th, and times the 9th inning to match up against good left-handed hitters that every bullpen needs.
Where do you view Nick Mears, I guess, amongst those bullpen guys? Because when you mentioned 7, 8, 9, we know who have been in 8 and 9 over the last couple of years. So where does Mears kind of fit into the, the bullpen mix?
Yeah, one of the, I would say, more under the radar, difficult things to do in the game is to get from the 6th to the 8th inning somehow. So those guys that you can bring in the 6th inning, whether you're 1 down, 1 up, whatever the score may be in a close game, those guys that can manage and navigate the 6th inning and into the 7th and maybe get you 2 outs in the 7th, they're extremely valuable in the game. And they're almost like offensive linemen. Nobody really knows who they are. They're on every team, but the ones that do it well really stand out. And Nick has done that in his career. And we think he's, one of a few that can do that for us now. And it also helps us manage our bullpen. When guys you start going to the well night after night with the same guys, it takes its toll on players. But now that you have a couple guys like Schreiber and Mears that have taken the ball and have had a lot of appearances in a season, it's a little bit easier to navigate over 162 games.
When it comes to these trades, obviously you as a team are always going to be like, well, we got the better end of that deal. Otherwise, you're not really making it, or at the very least, you thought you got an even value on the deal. I looked at it. I thought you guys had gotten more talent back than you had given away, or better talent back than you had given away. Do you think that some of that was possible because you guys took on essentially an additional $6, $7, $8 million in salary as a part of these moves as well, not just the trade of the players?
Yeah, I think that is certainly part of it. That's not something I really know for a fact. You just look at the resume of Matt Strahm. It tells you that relievers that are making $7.5 million are pretty good relievers. So I think that certainly had something to do with it. I don't know what's happening with the other club and what their calculus may be right now. All we know is who they asked for. And we value John Boland. He's 29 years old, but he was really starting to project in our bullpen very well. So we're not surprised by the ask. It's not a household name. But it is somebody that I can tell you, like Brian Sweeney, our pitching coach, was a little disappointed, that we were trading him. But at the same time, you're filling a bigger hole with Matt, and it comes at a cost. In this case, it's probably a little bit more salary than necessarily, talent for talent.
We're talking to JJ Picollo here on 96.5 The Fan. While we're talking about the acquisitions, let's stick there, and then we can get into Michael Garcia and his extension, of course, to stay in Kansas City for years to come. Isaac Collins, maybe not a household name for people in Kansas City, but you go back and look, perhaps a late bloomer, but he was the NL Rookie of the Month back in August. What do you guys see in him, and how do you right now, knowing you're not even in spring training yet, where do you maybe see him fitting in?
Well, Isaac had a really good rookie year last year. I think he finished 4th in the National League Rookie of the Year voting. But when you look at his skill set, it represents something that we need more of. His real skill is to get on base. He's one of the most selective hitters in the game, both right-handed and left-handed. His walk rates are high. That's something we've been trying to acquire for a couple of years now. It's something, whether it's via the draft, developing it, trading for it, whatever it is. So Isaac really stood out to us because of that skill. But then you throw in his positional versatility, the speed component on the bases. He's what our identity is: athleticism, play good defense, run the bases well. He does those things. And the other thing that he will do for us now that we've been, I'll say, looking for a few years is a switch hitter. When you have a switch hitter that's good from both sides of the plate, it's a weapon. It helps you manage games better. It helps you, sort of punch and counter punch when you're going through the game. So I think Q's really going to be able to utilize the switch hit ability of Collins in a way that maybe isn't talked about a whole lot, but it's certainly a lot of our discussions going into games night in, night out.
It's far too early for it, but because of that on-base component, and that felt like it was a part of the India trade, and then eventually what led Michael to be there, would you guys look at Collins at the top of the order?
Yeah, I think that'll play out. I've been asked that a couple of times, and to be very honest, we haven't had a chance to really look at lineups just yet.
Sure.
So, we don't know what else this offseason brings, but he's hit all over the lineup for the Brewers last year, down the stretch. He was mostly in the middle, which I find very interesting. But that's kind of how that team was built. Looking at the on base, you certainly could see him, hitting in the leadoff spot. The fact that he's a switch hitter, you don't have to worry night to night. If he settles in as leadoff hitter, that's great. But also part of our goal this offseason is to lengthen our lineup out. So if he's hitting in spots more similar to what he did with Milwaukee, that's a good thing too, because we want to be tougher in the bottom of our lineup to get the top of the lineup back up again. We want to get Bobby and Michael and Vinny back up again. So I think regardless of where it settles, we can consider him in any spot in the lineup.
We're talking to JJ Picollo here on 96.5 The Fan. I know it's only December 19th, so it is very early, as you were hinting at there. And I know you guys are always going to look at potential moves anyway to make your organization better, to make your big league club better. Are you guys still looking for additional outfield help at this point?
Well, I think if we were able to improve our club, it's certainly something we want to do. That going back to the Collins acquisition, I think that allowed us to think freely about adding whatever it is to our club that we can because of his versatility. And then when you throw in Michael Massey's versatility, Nick Lofton's versatility, Tyler Tolbert's versatility, all of those players here are meaningful players to us. But the fact that we have another one that can go, dirt to grass, playing infield, outfield, or outfield, infield, however you look at it, gives us the ability to at least explore and keep talking. I will say we've been engaged in a lot of different interesting conversations. You got to get creative in trying to execute these things when it's all said and done. But, more than anything with Collins and Lane Thomas, we feel like the athleticism, the versatility, track record is there, that we've raised the floor of our outfield. And then when you factor in, what's Carter Jensen going to do? What's Cags going to do next year? It's got a chance to be a pretty good offense if some of those younger guys, capture some everyday at-bats. And that would be a wonderful thing for us as well.
I want to ask about Cags in just a minute, but you had hinted at something about all these interesting conversations. I was reading, JJ, and you're a GM, so I can ask you that around the league, the sentiment seems to be teams are far less interested at this particular moment in prospects and far more interested in trading major league players for major league players. Are you seeing that as being a higher level than normal this season? And I guess, is there a reason why you think that might be the case?
It does seem to be the case. And, and I'm going to speculate a little bit here, but it may just simply be because more teams are in the playoff race when it comes to trade deadline. We have expanded playoffs. So teams are more optimistic that we can make a run into the trade deadline. If we're still in it, we'll continue to acquire. If we're out of it at that point, then maybe we would trade. But it does seem to have that flavor this year. There are certain teams that are clearly building and are more prospect-driven, but it does seem like there's more teams that are, more of the mindset that we can make the playoffs next year. So it is a lot of major league for major league, which I think is a a healthy thing for our game. I think our fans enjoy that because the names are more identifiable. You have track records. You can look at highlights on them and feel good about how that player helps whatever team you root for.
What changes, if any, do you think Cags might make this offseason? Just knowing like that the season didn't go the way that he wanted or didn't finish the way that he wanted. Are you looking for certain things tangible for him as far as this offseason goes to have a better 2026?
Well, I had a chance to talk to him the other day, and exactly what he's working on is what we feel like he needs to work on, and that's pitch selection. We got to keep in mind too. This guy was in college in 2024, so things have happened really fast for him, and he crushed the minor leagues, and now he's in the major leagues where guys can execute pitches. So the more selective he can get, he's going to be successful. There's no doubt about it. It's going to take major league at bats for him to get comfortable to getting those advantage counts, and when he does, he's going to do damage. But he's just going to go through some growing pains like we saw last year. But we have a ton of confidence that he's going to overcome those pains and turn into a great major league player. It's just a matter of giving him the time to do it.
We're talking to JJ Picollo here on 96.5 The Fan. You guys had a press conference earlier this week to make it official. Michael Garcia signing an extension with this organization. The part that really I thought was interesting too is you mentioned in 2024 you guys were maybe looking at possibly having an extension, and now you guys get it done.
Yeah, Michael has always been a really talented player that, with his athleticism and, you do have to project on things a little bit. He was a player that we felt like at some point we would be extending. But that discussion was in spring training, but it was more about career goals, what's important to you. And, at that time we did talk about, how do you secure your future? What do you need to do as a player? And the discussion and extension came up. We never got to the point that we actually tried to extend him. But what I respect, and we all respect about Michael so much, is that didn't affect him going into 25. He realized 24 wasn't what he wanted. He certainly showed us signs of becoming a really good player, but it wasn't the right time to extend him. And then he goes out in 25, super focused on the team, focused on what he needs to do as a player to help the team, puts up tremendous numbers, all-star, gold glover, silver slug finalist. You got MVP votes. So a lot of credit goes to him for preparing and learning from 24 and turning 25 into a great season. And then those extension talks became real.
What does that do just moving forward for you guys to have the left side of the infield locked down? You kind of know the cost, moving forward for that. How does that help you guys trying to build this thing out for years to come?
Well, it's nice that you have the left side taken care of for a lot of years. We don't have to think about a shortstop or a third baseman. And the nice thing there is I think what we know about those two is they're going to play great defense and the offense is going to be there. So there's a lot of security there. Then when you look at Vinny, we got Vinny for 3 more years, and all the other players that are Cags and Jensen for a number of years. There's a lot of players that are going to be in a Royals uniform for the foreseeable future. And that's a great thing for us. It helps us manage our payroll. It helps us do things like we did this morning, project out. Sometimes you hit points where, a 1-year contract is good for you. As much as we like extensions, a 1-year contract can be good. And Matt Strom is on a 1-year contract, but it's because of security and projection. We can almost tell now what we will need in 27 or 28 when you have some fixed numbers in your payroll.
I think that this means the next logical person we're going to ask about is Vinny Pasquantino, and whether or not those conversations start up now as well. I think for us, we always assumed that he was going to need to prove a full healthy year, but he has similar control to Michael Garcia. You could look at a similar type deal, I guess, is the one with him. So have you guys had any conversations with his team?
Vinny's a great player, and to this point we've gone year to year. What I'm really proud about with Vinny is, this year was this first year of arbitration can be a tough year for a player because it's the first time they get a chance to make a significant jump in their salary. Vinny went out and killed it, and he's put himself in a great spot, for the next 3 years. So it's something we're always thinking about. We're open to it. Discussions are loosely being had, but it's one of those that you take them one by one, and you see when the timing's right. So, we just want Vinny to keep putting up those numbers, and his future is very secure with the Royals, and we'll see where it takes us.
How does the talk in 2027 with where the CBA may or may not be heading, the World Baseball Classic even in this particular spring? How do both of those? I know they're completely different conversations, I guess, but how do those impact just how you handle this offseason?
It didn't change anything for us. We've had a couple. We signed Sally back for 2 years. That didn't come into play. Signing Michael, that didn't come into play. So, for us, it's business as usual. I mean, there's a better chance that we will be playing than not at some point during the season. So, I really doesn't factor in for us. We got to treat everything like we're going to have a 2027 season, be optimistic that we don't miss any games. So that's how we negotiate contracts. That's how we work through it. The WBC is an exciting thing. I don't know, how this will all shake out in the long run, but I heard somebody earlier today on MLB Network, mention that maybe the WBC goes to the middle of the season at some point. As somebody who helps run a team, I would love that. I mean, spring training is a difficult time, and it's more so about the pitchers. That's who it's more difficult on. It's not difficult for the position players. But we are in the entertainment business, and the WBC is very well received by fans all across the world. So it's a wonderful thing for our game. So it's definitely not going away. The challenges are for the pitchers, and we do have a couple pitchers that will be playing in the WBC this year. But fortunate for us, it's not starting pitchers, and they're the ones you worry about it. Well, Lugo actually is pitching, but he's done it before, so he knows how to get himself ready for it. But most of our guys that are playing are position players.
I guess do you ever have any conversations with the team managers of those? Because I remember like the Brady Singer, Bobby Witt, where essentially neither guy was playing. So like they were taking all this time off spring training, but they weren't playing at the time, and the issues that maybe that causes.
We do have discussions with the managers. Pitchers, it's about usage and pitch counts, and there's some rules in place that govern the WBC to help you protect the pitchers. But as far as playing time is concerned, that's just a risk that players have to take. That is a win-at-all-cost tournament. Every country wants to win. If you're playing well, pitching well, you're going to pitch, you're going to play. If you're not, you're probably not going to be in the lineup. I think in Bobby's case, it was just that he was the youngest player, I believe, on the USA team. And I think that was very much a primer for the USA, setting it up for Bobby to participate in the future. He was going to be a part of that team every time the WBC is played. So I think for Bobby, that particular year is more about the experience than it was about the playing time. And it certainly didn't hurt him being away for a couple weeks.
All right, lastly, JJ, the real important question of the day, how you feeling about your Eagles, though, heading into the postseason here in a few weeks?
Not so great. It's been a rough stretch, but hopefully, I know they played the Raiders last week, and hopefully that's what we saw against the Raiders is something that is a preview of what the offense could do again. They certainly have the talent on the team, and the defense is good. But let's finish strong these last 3 games and hopefully make a run in January.
JJ Picollo, Royals General Manager, Vice President of Baseball Ops. Appreciate it as always. Happy holidays, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, guys. Happy holidays to you as well.
There you go. JJ Picollo with us here on 96.5 The Fan. A lot there, a lot to get into. They've been busy the last week or so, Cody, with multiple moves.
They made another one this morning for Strom,
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see if there's another. I know everybody's wondering if there's another move on the way. But I think what we speculated about, and he kind of confirmed it a little bit, was just the Isaac Collins move. If this is what they roll into it, you go with Lane Thomas as a platoon maybe in center. You've got Isaac Collins. If this ends up being the outfield, we'll see what the ceiling ends up being, but there's no doubt that compared to where it was last year on opening day, to say the least, have they got better in the outfield this offseason? Yes. Has it been to the level that I think fans want?
No.
We'll see. I don't think the names are, but we'll see how the next month and a half or so plays out.
Look, if you ask me right now, is this outfield good enough to compete for the AL Central? My answer is probably no. Is it good enough to compete for the wild card? Yes. And so,
but isn't so much of that what you answered? I agree with your answer. Isn't so much that the thing that can swing it the most is if Cags figures it out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's the swing.
And my answer would be yes if you just told me Cags has a good year.
Exactly.
And so this pitch selection, and look, I understand things were very, very, very fast for Caglione this year, as in he got called up. He was so good in the minors, they had no choice. They had to supercharge his development and get him to the big leagues faster than they had originally intended on getting him to the big leagues. And he didn't adjust well once he got here. But now he's a whole offseason. He gets to look at stuff at a million tape and all this other stuff and figure out. I thought he adjusted playing right field. Not bad. He made those adjustments. Be all right. We'll see whether or not he takes that next, I guess, big step going forward. I like the moves they've made this offseason. That's the thing. Are any of them home run moves? No. But they have a better left-handed reliever, now an additional right-handed reliever, and they have certainly increased how well they are at left field while locking up Michael Garcia.
Yeah, they've been very smart moves.
Heady, right? Yeah, like you said, just good, smart baseball. We're a good run baseball organization type of moves. Giving up Jonathan Bolin, even if Brian Sweeney likes what he's got to offer. I'll live.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll talk some Chiefs with Joshua Brisco. He will be hosting pre- and post-game.
And stadium with him.
Coming up in Nashville, of course, as the Chiefs take on the Titans. We'll talk some Chiefs, yes, and the latest with the Chiefs stadium front and everything pointing towards perhaps an announcement on Monday that the Chiefs would head to Kansas. I saw something that I think, by the way, is a terrible idea. You know, we talk a lot about sports betting. We've been tracking that for multiple years on both sides of the state line. And not to get too nerdy with it, you can listen to a past podcast of That Betting Show if you want the details. But there are these things called prediction markets. So there's the poly market type sites. Maybe you've heard of these, okay? Well, one of the companies is at Kalshi, I think is how you pronounce it. They filed a form, and they're not a sports betting company, but this is the whole debate. They're regulated by the federal level instead of the state level, and it's very controversial. The sports betting companies actually hate this. Anyway.
They claim they're not gambling.
Correct.
They definitely are gambling.
So they filed a form to start accepting bets on who enters the transfer portal in college football. They intend to offer contracts very soon. They will be settled based on public announcements, including players' social media, school athletic departments, and major recruiting services or sports media. This is such a bad idea.
It's a horrible idea.
It is such a bad idea for a few obvious reasons, but also one, just do we need to be doing this? No. Two, you think that there's perhaps a question about the integrity of certain bets to begin with. Now you're going to have a player or a school that knows they're having a conversation with somebody or promises, hey, we can give you X amount of money through an NIL deal. What's to prevent that NIL situation betting against themselves, essentially, to try to basically make money to be able to get said player? This is a terrible idea. We do not need this. Again, these are not things that are going to be offered through FanDuel, DraftKings, et cetera. This is a completely separate deal. It's a controversial industry now, but it's worth billions of dollars already because if anybody's done poly market, you can bet on who's going to win an election. You can bet on what someone's going to say in a presidential speech. You can bet on, yes, who's going to win a football game. But it is way more open season, and some of this stuff, we just don't need to be betting on who's going to the transfer portal.
As a self-described degenerative gambler, Gold, you know me, I just like to bet on stuff, right? I like to gamble. I like to, we'll bet at Christmas time or do left, right, center, or we'll play in between, or you and I will do sports, all those things. I don't need to bet on everything in my life.
Yeah, this is
I don't need to bet on if someone's entering the transfer portal. I don't need to bet on if somebody says something in a speech. I don't have to bet on, how far away are they from making someone bet on a natural disaster? So, it's just too far.
It definitely sounds like they're making an excuse to just throw odds on anything.
Yeah, and then they claim that it's not gambling. You're like, no, you're just seeing where the markets go. It's like the stock market.
Yeah.
Your stock market. My stock is up on Bo Prabula entering the market. I'm like, no, that's not what it is. You're just having me wager on everything in my life, which I do not require.
Yeah, these markets, you're going to, over the next couple years, in weird way, the sports betting stuff is almost like old news in terms of the industry-wise industry stuff. It's going to now transfer to these sports contracts, and it's going to be very controversial over the next couple of years, and you're going to see a lot more regulation around it because of situations like this very thing. So just something to keep an eye on, but a terrible idea.
Colleges would hate this.
Yeah, you would think.
100%.
Up next, let's talk some Chiefs football. Not only what's happening Sunday, but back into the stadium front, where there's expected to be a meeting in Topeka on Monday that could lead to an announcement that the Chiefs are headed to Kansas. Joshua Brisco joins us next.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Creed Humphrey. You're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
The holidays are here, and that means Smokehouse Barbecue. Why fuss this holiday season when Smokehouse Barbecue can cater all of your holiday events? That's what we do. Holiday parties, cater and burnt ends. Holiday parties, bring those hickory pit beans. Smokehouse Barbecue will take care of everything. You can visit them at one of their 3 locations in Independence, Gladstone, and Zona Rosa, or place all of your orders at smokehousebbq.com. That's smokehousebbq.com. For over 35 years, locally owned and family operated, it's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here to tell you Rob Sight Ford is closing in on a record-setting year, and they're doing whatever it takes to get there.
That's right, Kevin. We're pulling out all the stops to finish the year strong. 0% for up to 66 months on most Ford models, including F-150s, Escapes, Explorers, Super Duties, and Transits. Top dollar trade-ins and pricing other dealers won't match.
If you've been waiting for the moment to buy, this is it. We've got the vehicles. We've got the deals. We just need one thing, you behind the wheel.
Impeccable rhyme, Kevin. But hey, this is simple, upfront, and easy, and it all ends January 5th.
Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews, and voted best car dealership in Kansas City by Kansas City Magazine. And now, we're going for the finish line. Rob Sight Ford. Buy right with Rob Sight.
135th and State Line or robsight.com. You want inventory, you want price, you want more for your trade. Let's make it happen.
End the year in a Ford before this event drives off.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for Dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
Game day headquarters is at Dave & Buster's, the ultimate watch destination. 30-plus screens, including jaw-dropping 40-foot TVs. We'll put you in the center of the action. Join Cody Tapp with 96.5 The Fan this Sunday, December 21st, from noon to 2 p.m. at Dave & Buster's, 1843 Village West Parkway off I-435 and I-70 in Kansas City. Enjoy half-price games Sunday through Thursdays. No purchase necessary. Cheer on KC at Dave & Buster's, where every game is a big game.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ETHOS.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Drinking and driving will change your whole world. The next time you're out with your friends, consider what would happen if you got pulled over after drinking. Like the legal fees, or the time in court, or a DUI on your record. Your decision to drink and drive could change someone else's world too, if you hurt or kill them in a crash. Instead, what if your decision to call a sober ride changed your world for the better? Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's George Karloftis. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour here on a Friday. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon producing the show. We'll get to the trash of the day here in about 20 minutes or so. Then into the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Text line is open, 913-586-7965. Always love the interaction there. Video stream up and running as well on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe to YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the shows here on 96.5 The Fan. And, of course, Sunday, Chiefs taking on the Titans in Nashville. Pre-game coverage begins 3 hours prior to kickoff with Joshua Brisco. And he joins us now as he does each and every Friday. Josh, we'll get to the game, of course, but I just want to get your reaction as someone that also, like the three of us, we've all grown up in the Kansas City area, been going to games at Arrowhead our entire life. Just your reaction to the reports that it sure looks like on Monday there is likely going to be an announcement that the Chiefs are headed to Kansas.
Yeah, wherever that process is at, I honestly, this has probably been good for my sanity, was able to kind of just push back from the table a little bit over the last year or so of this process with all the moving parts and everything. And again, I think it's maybe kept me sane. But I was born and raised on the Kansas side, and I live on the Missouri side now. So I've always kind of I've enjoyed a sort of dual citizenship, if you will. I'm not a KU or Mizzou guy. My parents went to Wichita State, so I really do have roots on both sides of the state line, and I understand that there is a lot of emotion in this for a lot of people, but I've been pretty zen throughout the whole thing because as long as they're the Kansas City Chiefs, they could be the Kansas City Marshmallows, and I would be content. I think the first two words of the team name are always what's mattered the most to me.
When you look at what the atmosphere, because you've spent plenty of your childhood at Arrowhead and been to Arrowhead any number of times in your life, do you think that can be recreated in a new stadium? Or do you just have to kind of let that part go and be like, Arrowhead is what it was and this new thing will be its own thing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on a bunch of the choices that would be made along the process. I think you want to try to keep some of that, if not that specific mystique, because that's always going to belong to Arrowhead, being able to call back to your history that way, I would imagine would be something that the Chiefs are thinking about throughout this process. And then ultimately, the energy in the stadium is about the fans that are in there. Obviously, the setting can change things, but like, the reason that the Raiders lost all of their steam isn't because they got a nice stadium. It's because they moved from Oakland to Las Vegas.
Correct.
So I do think, obviously, it would be different. There would be changes here. But I'm not that heated on either side of it. And I really do think that you are going to have still rabid Kansas City Chiefs fans, which is really the thing that's always made Arrowhead the most special.
Yeah, it's always I think the example people would give for the Super Bowl, and then I used to think this as well until we were fortunate enough to go to a couple of these, and I think Cody agreed with me on this earlier, which is everybody always had said, the Super Bowl is a corporate environment, like as if everybody's sitting in a suit and tie and watching the Super Bowl. And by the way, that's not what it is at all. The atmospheres have been incredible.
The times I've gone, no.
And there will be fans that simply will be priced out of a new stadium. I'm not saying that will not happen, but this idea that the fan that's going to go, if it happens, to the Kansas side in a brand new dome stadium or whatever, that everybody that's in there is just going to be talking business during the game and not cheering is also laughable.
Yeah, I don't think that's any concern as long as the Kansas City Chiefs are still playing football inside that building. Yeah, no, that is not a worry of mine. Yeah, some of the economic stuff certainly worth all of the microscope that's been taken to it, and you do want to make sure that you're able to have your fans in there to make the noise that they've been making for decades now as a fan of this team. So again, I imagine, and maybe I haven't gone deep enough into the details or whatever, but I have a very hard time imagining any home of the Chiefs that doesn't remind you of that the moment the national anthem is wrapping up.
I gotta say, Gold does sound like he's describing what would be an excellent local TV sketch that Tim Robinson essentially does these businessmen at the football game. I would probably watch that, Brisco, and I think you would too.
I think, yeah, you put him in a Super Bowl suite, really go ahead and ratchet the stakes up. And
Making deals.
Yeah, trying to wheel and deal like as McCole Hardman is catching a touchdown pass in overtime. It's like trying to seal it. He just can't quite get the handshake because every time he's about to land the handshake, the hands go up for the touchdown. There's a bit here for sure. Let's work on this.
Brisco, I know that the Chiefs obviously are going to try to continue to win because that's what most teams do. But will they, while trying to win, actually play young players? Are you optimistic we will see more Hicks, Smith, Royals, name your player? I would enjoy more young players playing these last 3 games. Do you think we'll actually see it?
I think we'll see some of it. I was not terribly heartened by the comments around Jeffrey Bassa and Jalen Royals at pressers yesterday. It did not seem like they were being rushed into action here. I don't know why you wouldn't play your entire rookie class as much as you can. Obviously, the top 2 picks are out, and Ashton Gelati's played plenty. But no, I want to see them treat this as the audition and as the higher stakes preseason game that it is. Look, every player who's out there is going to play to win. You have to play at 100%. There's no other choice. You'll injure yourself or someone else. There's not even an inkling of a thought of go out there and just maybe you let them score here and there. but from a personnel perspective, I really do hope that they are smart with their opportunity here, not just smart in protecting players like Trent McDuffie, who's your number 1 asset to either extend or figure something out with this offseason. Protect guys like that, some of the veterans who have proven everything they are to you, and then use this as really valuable eval time. You need to figure out if Gardner Minshew's the guy you want to lead this team through the offseason. He's going to have to be your quarterback almost certainly through training camp, or whoever is. Somebody's got to. It's not going to be Patrick Mahomes unless he is way ahead of schedule, which I don't want to put on him from an expectation standpoint. There is a lot to be learned in these last few games. I really do hope the Chiefs take every step they can to learn that. I know they're going in trying to build a winning game plan. I know that we heard from George Karlaftis yesterday, and I'm sure he's going to want to play. He's clearly dealing with a serious hand issue. By the way, he answered a question about that yesterday. So protect some of your veterans here and respect the fact that a lot of these guys have played a season of playoff games as a Kansas City Chief, and then try to really get those reps for the young guys. Because in the preseason, it's always, this 6th round pick looked pretty good, but he was out there against the Bears 3, so it's hard to tell. In this instance, that won't be the case. Let's see 100% of the snaps for Noah Williams. Let's see a real hefty workload for Jeffrey Bassa and figure out what he looks like, what all these guys look like after being able to watch and learn a lot of times over this last 3 months of this season. Let's ratchet it up and see what they got.
Talking to Joshua Brisco here on 96.5 The Fan. Is there one particular player, though, that I guess I'm really narrowing it down to a couple of the rookies, but that you want to see a little bit more of or that you're most intrigued by on Sunday?
I think it's look, here's the thing, man. We've talked about this guy every week. Every week all year we've talked about Brashard Smith. But I think you really want to use this time when there is not necessarily the pressure of just making sure the offense just stays just ahead of the sticks, where you're 3 yards in a cloud of dust for Kareem Hunt is something you have to do to keep the offense moving. Thank you, Kareem Hunt, for your service. You have almost 150 carries this year. You had 200 carries last year. I do not need to see Kareem Hunt the rest of this way. And you heal up and come back fresh next year. You're going to have a short yardage role, I assume. That's all well and good. Let's see what Brashard Smith looks like with 15 to 20 real carries throughout a game. Because you obviously they're going to be making some changes in the running back room. The other one, just to pick not a rookie, I want to see every possible snap for Jaden Hicks. I thought what Spags said about him a week or two ago was really interesting, making more mistakes in his second year than he would have expected. Let's see it. No better time to make those mistakes at full speed than during these last 3 games. The mistakes don't cost you anything. They do in the micro, but nobody's going to remember a long touchdown, a huge run from from Tony Pollard. No one is going to remember that in a month unless you're using it to evaluate a real Jaden Hicks mistake. And in that case, that's still valuable information. So Hicks is the guy on defense, so I just don't really want to hear any excuses for. I just want to see him play meaningful football. And Brashard Smith is the other one where if you don't see him get actual running back workloads the rest of this way, it might also tell you a lot about how the Chiefs view him. But he did get some of that. Really, he got a lot of work in the fourth quarter of that Raiders game with Minshew early in the season. So I do think we'll see that from Smith. I really hope we see that for Jaden Hicks.
I mean, it seems plausible that we'll see it for both, or at least it makes sense that we would see it from both, knowing where they currently sit, I guess. Are you excited to watch Gardner Minshew? Does it mean anything to you on this end? Can you get a sense of him as a backup for Mahomes if he's not ready? Because obviously he's the starting quarterback and we got to watch it. But, like, is there real tangible things to learn knowing that they're backup offensive linemen, maybe not the same wide receivers? You know, it's not going to be the normal crew.
Right. It should still be better than what Carson Wentz had last year, just in kind of like comparing these next 3 weeks to what happened at the end of the season. Then I would tell you if Mahomes was out with a hyperextended knee or something for the rest of this season, I would tell you probably not. Like, there's a little bit to learn about just like where your spot in the league is and do we want you back as the backup again next year. But with Mahomes being out for 7 to 11 months, and let's just call it 9, yeah, I think it matters a lot, not just on game day, but throughout the week for Gardner Minshew. Because again, you really do need a quarterback who is going to, everyone wants offensive changes, right? Everybody wants the Chiefs to install something new in training camp. Maybe you get some different things schematically. You want to make some offensive changes this offseason. You're not going to have Patrick Mahomes on the field to do almost, if not any of that. So you have to have a quarterback who at bare minimum you feel like can lead the guys around him, who can sort of install some of these changes, who can be the mouthpiece between Andy Reid and next year, Josh Simmons and Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy and get these guys up to speed and on time for whenever Mahomes returns. If Mahomes returns week 1, that's great, but he's still not going to be able to be a part of the on-field stuff that we're talking about all season and all off season. So I think Minshew has that to show throughout the week, leading practices, in the meeting rooms. He said his preparation's basically the same, but now you got to get out there and you've got these live reps. So I don't know that we'll be able to evaluate his box score and find anything meaningful from that, but the way that he does run the offense and the way that hopefully he can show this coaching staff that he's the guy who can be that bridge until Mahomes returns, I do think matters.
Are you surprised at and I know it's the loud minority, are you surprised at the number of people who are just like ready to run Andy out of town or Brett Veach out of town and like go real big changes, not just, hey, let's change a wide receiver coach?
Yeah, a little bit. I am surprised because of what they've accomplished, and I'm not surprised because of what they've accomplished. Like, at any point in Chiefs history before this last 8 years or whatever, the Andy Reid, Brett Veach statues might have been getting built just off some divisional championship wins, much less getting to an AFC championship game and then getting the first ring in 50 years. And then you get to a point where you do have the degree of difficulty raises because that's the way the NFL is built, right? Great players get paid elsewhere. You win games, you get lower draft picks. And so the entropy of football is really truly pointed to make this happen, where it's not only harder to stay good, but I think really the league doesn't want the top dogs to start running away from the pack. You don't want the Los Angeles Dodgers, right? And obviously that's different because the salary cap alone helps that in a major way. But the salary cap might hurt if you just want to pay Chris Jones all the money you can to keep him home, right? So all of that to say, I understand how and why this season's been so frustrating for fans. And I don't think that you can say that almost anyone is beyond reproach this year. Like, I think everybody can take a little bit of the blame from a roster construction, schematic, and then, of course, the players, an execution standpoint, maybe even a focus standpoint. Nobody's been perfect this year. But I am surprised because I can look around at any given point and just, like, accidentally see a Chiefs Super Bowl championship hat in my office. And I'm not surprised because we're talking about this team going to 3 consecutive Super Bowls as of this time last year and on a really impressive season that way. So I understand how it happens. I obviously think it's premature might be the kindest possible word I could offer.
Lastly, for you, Brisco, what about Jeremy Fowler's reporting earlier in the week where he at least was suggesting possible trade candidates and Trent McDuffie's name came up? We definitely have discussed that for the last couple weeks as well. Where do you stand on that? I know he has a 5th-year option and how the Chiefs are going to build for the future. Do you think that is a realistic possibility that he gets traded?
I think realistic is fair, yeah. I think him getting an extension and being a foundational piece of this team is also realistic. Mm-hmm. I really am curious to see where the reporting ends up going in terms of asking price or offering price. I do think that when your hands are relatively tied, as the Chiefs are right now, they set a lot of their decisions with extensions for Trey Smith and Nick Bolton and George Karlaftis. And by making some of those choices, and then even to a lesser extent, like signing Christian Fulton and letting Justin Reed walk, you make a lot of those choices, obviously, instantly on Justin Reed, and then I think when you make those deals that it's going to be harder for McDuffie. And then also Jalen Watson's role is a major factor in this. I can't imagine both of those guys being back next year. And again, I think even though it didn't work out, the Christian Fulton signing was to kind of give a little bit of wiggle room of, hey, here's a third corner this year and maybe your second corner next year. And obviously that contract has not panned out in any way, shape, or form. But no, I'm not surprised to hear McDuffie's name thrown around that way. If you want to try to restock the draft picks, McDuffie's one of the only realistic options I think the Chiefs have there. But can you get a player who is as impactful as Trent McDuffie? I don't know. Of course, if you keep him, you're going to need to extend him and be able to lock up even more money for the long haul. So I think it's probably the most interesting domino of the Chiefs offseason, just because it'll really tell you, I mean, obviously, it'll tell you, do they want to build around McDuffie as the blue chip leader of that secondary, or do they want to try to reload and get younger and cheaper in a bunch of places? I always like teams getting younger and cheaper, but I would really, really hate Trent McDuffie not being on this football team. So I'm conflicted, and I'm very curious to see how that shakes out over the next few months.
On Sunday, I'll tell you this, just to toy with us a little bit, I hope Andy Reid has 1 or 2 QB sneaks for Gardner Minshew. I'm actually rooting for that.
I think it would make me actively mad.
I'm rooting for that.
Push,
yeah, maybe, like all of a sudden, short yardage scheme completely changes.
If it means they'll run the QB sneak with Minshew next year, I'm in.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Under center play action, all like 40 plays of that.
Yep.
Rashard Smith, ground and pounds, just absolutely hammering the football. Jeffrey Bassett flying around looking like Fred Warner.
I watched Sean McVay run a flea flicker tight end screen last night, and I missed that Andy used to do stuff like that.
I saw some other things from the Rams that felt like the things I was jealous of. Just some obviously they didn't win, but God, man, Matt Stafford throwing absolute darts. Dude.
Over 400 yards last night.
That no look to Nakua. He could not have been looking further away from his wide receiver. He might as well have been looking behind him.
I just think you couldn't bear to look at him after the week he's had, and still, what a stat line.
Yeah,
Josh Brisco, appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. You're listening to Josh 3 hours before kickoff, and of course post game as well for the Chiefs Radio Network on Sunday right here on 96.5 The Fan. All right, let's get to it. It's that time of the show.
Trash of the day.
All right, we're going to a truck stop. All right.
I feel like that could be a lot of trash of the days over the years.
Well,
did you guys ever? We used to stay at those like rest areas on long road trips.
Yeah, we used to do that.
What do you say? Stay? Like you slept overnight?
We'd be there for not overnight, but like we always drove overnight to like Colorado on vacation. So like if my dad just couldn't take it anymore, it'd be 3 a.m. We used to be like playing outside at 3 a.m. when my dad tried to take us a nap in the car.
Oh wow!
Dad,
I've obviously stopped
at the rest areas.
Insane.
Yeah. Like you guys are talking about the public ones on the highway,
yes.
not where this is a Pilot Flying J type one, or a Buc-ee's, which might be right next to the new Arrowhead. I don't know, but the Buc-ee's is not the exact name of this one. What was it? Yeah, this was Pilot Travel Center in I don't know what state. It just says in Whiteland. Okay, anyway.
Oh, it was in Indiana.
I was gonna say Whiteland sounds like a city in Indiana.
Drew, Indiana. So listen to this. Clearly, somebody screwed up. So there was a trucker that parked the semi. I don't know if he offloaded the trailer or whatever, but he parked the semi, went to the truck stop, comes back, okay? Notices that the seal on the trailer was tampered with. So he's like, all right, something's up. Let me check it out. He did this before beginning his trip. He noticed there was boxes of stuff that were not there before. Eventually, he calls the police. They open it up. They find 10 boxes that were not part of the original load containing 350 pounds of cocaine. That's $16 million worth of cocaine.
So they got it all the way to Indiana and then try to throw it in the back of this guy's truck?
Clearly, right? Isn't this? I think I can say clearly. Somebody was supposed to load this cocaine on a different trailer for somebody else. Wrong trailer. Somebody lost their life over this.
Yeah, it does feel like
nobody gets to just accidentally lose $16 million worth of cocaine and live.
It definitely feels like, hey, John's going to pull up in a blue trailer. You put the package in the back of his truck.
Right.
We all go about our day. He thought that was that blue trailer. It wasn't. That guy noticed it had been tampered with, and then he moved on with his day. I mean, he already had it in something. You had to get it to the truck stop. In something.
350
You already
pounds.
got it to Indiana. Why didn't you just keep driving? You're worried about the next stop?
Now, 350 pounds, it's not like this guy had to have a semi-trailer himself. He could have still had that, in a different type of vehicle.
You think you can just put that in the back of your truck? You can put 350 pounds of cocaine in the back? I mean, I don't know if it works that way.
Why wouldn't? Cody, there's people that weigh 300 pounds.
I know, that's true. It just feels like a lot. I'm thinking about size of the bricks, too, I guess. I don't know what 350 pounds of coke looks like.
No, it was, to your point, it was 10 boxes. But if I had,
put 10 boxes, that's fair.
I could put 10 boxes in the back of the F-150.
No I'm sure it's got great towing capacity.
Yeah. Let's give it a try. I'm just saying, somebody, I don't know if it's linked to a cartel or what, somebody did not live who made this mistake.
I mean, I gotta say, if you work for a cartel, you can't be getting me in trouble every time seizures happen. That's just like a hazard of the business.
The hell you can't.
Hazard of the business! Sometimes drugs get seized. You can't get mad at me every time drugs. Look, let's say we're on a 10-man crew and all of our job is smuggling drugs. If I'm the lowest, if I'm the worst at getting stuff seized, if my stuff gets seized all the time, fine, you can be mad at me. But if I'm like the top dude, and one time some stuff gets seized, you gotta let me off the hook a little bit here.
$16 million.
It cost them $16 million to produce it.
$16 million lost. Maybe someone didn't lose their life. Somebody lost a limb. Somebody lost something. And now you're like, you watch too many movies. I'm just saying, there's no way that it's like, don't worry about it, man. We'll get him next time. No, something bad happened to somebody that lost $16 million worth of cocaine.
Someone wants to know if you were in Indiana, Cody.
No.
Well, Drew does.
Yep.
Drew goes to Indiana all the time.
Yeah. Drew was the most recent person on this show.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
I found
through Indiana,
July.
but I can't think of any time I spent time.
Here we go. I actually found more details on this. It said it's believed that the individual that lost the $16 million worth of cocaine was busy on Instagram in a drive-through singing and recording it.
That's weird.
That's weird.
Very
Drew,
specific.
you're from Indiana and you just did that the other day. Huh. Bizarre.
What drive-through are you in?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A? Okay. Just curious.
Chick-fil-A.
What'd you get? Chicken sandwich?
Yeah.
What would make you guess that he got a chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A?
Well, there's other choices. He could got tenders or nuggets or...
I could have.
There's other food
I
there.
have done before.
Not just. It could have been a spicy chicken sandwich. I didn't want to limit to what he was getting.
Yeah. Let's go with the OG. Let's get the number one, the original chicken sandwich, man.
It's got to be the thing
waffle
that moved
fries.
the most.
Anyway, that's the trash of
Waffle
the day.
fry at the high end of the worst shape of fry.
If it's fresh, a waffle fry is decent, but it's not
but
the best.
It requires
It's not
too
the
much
best.
to be good.
What do you
It
mean?
requires perfection in order to be executed.
It does.
Lots of other fries can still be very passable fries,
I'm with
even if
you.
not in their best state.
I'm with you that
It's like the 8th best fry.
crinkle fry, waffle fry have to be hot right out of the fryer.
Yeah, crinkle's got some problems too.
Otherwise,
I'm falling off on McDonald's fries too. McDonald's fries when they're fresh, they're the best. But
Totally.
but 9 times out of 10, they're not.
we've talked about this before. You do the ask for no salt, guaranteed fresh every time.
Where are we at on a potato wedge? How do you feel
Like
about a
the old
wedge?
Potato
KFC
wedges are
ones?
good, but they're not as good as regular
they're not
fries.
I think they screw up way less often.
See,
That's what I like about the wedge. Stalwart.
Way back,
Harder to mess up.
Way back when and KFC, like when it was in its
I know what
prime,
you're talking about. Oh yeah.
those were great. They've brought them back, and half the time they're soggy, so they're not good. But way back when, the KFC potato wedge was amazing.
I think Five Guys fries give any other place a run for their money.
I haven't had Five Guys in a long time.
They're always
It's
soggy.
been well over 5
Yeah,
years.
but they're still passable
It's almost like
enough. They're very
designed.
good.
It's almost designed is.
And they always give you more than what you ask for.
Well,
because,
sure,
you know,
yeah. The curly fry from Arby's, somebody said.
Curly fry's the best shape. That's number one, by
Those
the
are
way.
good.
But again, same with
That is
those.
the
Those
best
have to be
fry shape.
Those have to be fresh as well.
I don't think I've ever had a non-fresh curly fry from Arby's
Exactly.
before.
Because they always feel fresh.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're.
It's the crust or
It's
something?
the best shape. Curly fry's the best. Shoestring's probably second. Standard cut fry probably in the third. I could be talked into like a natural, it's got part of the potato skin on it somewhere in that range. Steak fry a little bit lower on there. Waffle fry down there. Crinkle cut way the hell down there.
Yeah.
Almost never done well.
All right, that is the trash of the day. Up next, Chiefs Right Half Hour. Let's get back into the stadium news, the expected announcement on Monday, and also what it means for the Royals and where they could end up next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Game day headquarters is at Dave & Buster's, the ultimate watch destination. 30-plus screens, including jaw-dropping 40-foot TVs, will put you in the center of the action. Join Cody Tapp with 96.5 The Fan this Sunday, December 21st, from noon to 2 p.m. at Dave & Buster's, 1843 Village West Parkway off I-435 and I-70 in Kansas City. Enjoy half-price games Sunday through Thursdays. No purchase necessary. Cheer on KC at Dave & Buster's, where every game is a big game.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars Rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Open to new users only. Minimum odds, -500. Awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
FanDuel is the #1 sportsbook for same-game parlays, from points, rebounds, three-pointers, assists, and so much more. FanDuel is the best place to combine your favorite picks into a same-game parlay or track every stat line live, all in an easy-to-use, one-stop shop app. And right now is the perfect time to join because new customers get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So bet on the players that you love the way that you want. Head over to FanDuel and use my promo code FanDuel.com/KFNZ to sign up today. FanDuel is the best place to combine your favorite picks into a same-game parlay or track every stat line live, all in an easy-to-use, one-stop shop app. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued with non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit kansasgamblinghelp.com. It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan and the other place, especially with these amazing game day specials. 14-inch two-topping pizzas for just $12 and $4 domestic OP cups. The other place with 5 great Kansas City Metro locations.
Hi, we're the people who have everything.
There's nothing you can get us we don't have.
We have 7 mini vacuums.
And Pearl-handled pickleball rackets.
See?
Need a gift for someone who has everything? The Kansas Lottery has you covered with holiday scratch tickets in $1, $2, $5, $10, and $20 options, with instant wins up to $100,000. You could win even more in second chance drawings.
Did he say thousands?
We could always use that.
See kslottery.com for details.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You've got a big day,
So you use Unstoppable scent boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
Need parts fast? Need them now? O'Reilly is fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly Auto Parts stand apart. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 Brake Best Select rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10 more. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or import direct pads for just $20 more. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
Chiefs coverage this past hour has been brought to you by WaysideWaves.org. Save a life this holiday season.
Wayside rescues thousands of animals each year. Your gift today provides a complete circle of life-saving care they need to heal and find loving homes. Donate today, and your gift will be matched. Visit WaysideWaves.org to make your life-saving gift today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
You're welcome, text line. Based on the text line, we made everybody hungry talking about fries in the last trash of the day. We went from cocaine to fries. Somehow we got there.
I think seasoning is probably being discussed here as well. Because, I love Joe's, KC's fries.
Great fry.
Good seasoning on it. Have you been to Joe's yet?
True.
Yeah. People are about to
about
call
to be
you
a problem.
anti-Kansas City.
I've been to Joe's multiple times.
Okay.
All right, I'm just making sure.
What about Q39?
Have not been to Q39. I think
Jack
part
Stack?
of it is I'm not. Yes, I've been to Jack Stack as well. I think I found a spot because Smokehouse is great. I think if there's one place like Smokehouse is more of the go-to.
So many great options.
I stopped going to different places after.
Oh, you found one you like. Fair enough.
And boom.
Fair enough.
Still haven't been to Gates where they yell at you.
Oh, yeah. We need to go get. We gotta go. We should go get lunch with Drew at Gates.
That's just a Kansas City experience,
We should.
Yeah, I still have not yet gotten that.
Doesn't even matter where you are in the line. I went to Gates not that long ago. Remember, I got my grandpa the barbecue sandwich when he had a brief hospital stay. He said he wanted.
That's right. He wanted that barbecue. He wanted that sandwich.
He was thinking his heart looked at him. I don't care. You want a barbecue sandwich in your 95, Drew? I got you.
Yeah. So we could maybe in the 1 o'clock hour fan club Fry, we can get back into the fry conversation if you guys want at 1 o'clock. Let's get back to obviously the biggest news though in the last 24 hours, and that is the expectation that the Chiefs on Monday will announce that they are headed to Kansas. This was Bob Fesco earlier this morning on Fesco and Dusty talking about what he is hearing.
Are the Chiefs going to Topeka on Monday is the big question. And the answer to that is I believe yes, but I also understand that there's a couple of more things that need to be tightened up before they go to the Topeka. If the Chiefs are heading to Topeka on Monday, and I'm talking Mark Donovan, Clark Hunt, those guys, if they're headed to Topeka on Monday, then we know the Chiefs are definitely 100% moving. And I do believe the Chiefs are 100% moving. I do believe that deal has already been consummated, quite frankly, from the conversations that I've had. And I do believe that they will announce on Monday that they are going to the state of Kansas. And that's, that's where we sit right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. They've given every opportunity for Missouri. They gave the first right of refusal to Missouri, and Missouri refused. I mean, and that's what it was. I mean, there's no other way to kind of describe that. And so I think right now the LCC, which is the board that approves the Star Bond District, is meeting on Monday. That meeting's been scheduled for 3 weeks. We've been talking about that meeting for a while now. I kept saying December 22nd was a big day. It's the LCC meeting. And at that meeting, they can do one of two things: approve a stadium for the Chiefs, or they can approve an extension to get more things worked out. most people that I've talked to, I should say the majority of people that I have talked to, have said there's no extension that's going to be ratified. It is ratification of the stadium going to Kansas City, Kansas. Now, exactly where are they going to go over there? I said a couple of months ago the Chiefs have 5 plots of land that they currently own and have control of over in Wyandotte County where they can build the stadium.
So that was Fesco earlier this morning, given the latest that he's hearing, and all signs are pointing to the Chiefs announcing on Monday that they are going to go to the state of Kansas. We know this has been a 5+ year conversation, frankly. I know it feels like it's been a decade, but it's been really 5 years. We know the vote that happened in April 2024. We're coming up on 2 years of that. That was the combined Jackson County sales tax extension that included a downtown ballpark and a renovated Arrowhead. We, of course, are talking about a brand new Chiefs Stadium in, we assume, the Legends area. I guess we don't know definitively, but we assume
there's a couple of sites that have been
Legends.
mentioned.
Yeah.
And so, look, I am a little surprised, not surprised that they would end up in Kansas in the sense that we said that the second that the vote in Jackson County didn't pass, that the door was open for this. Not that it was a guarantee, but if they had decided to vote yes in Jackson County, for a lot of reasons they didn't, some reasons I don't even blame Jackson County voters for voting against, for all the reasons we mentioned. Like, I still think the Chiefs didn't really like that plan, or at least half-assed it to the point that they didn't care. I am a little surprised in the sense that I do think Clark Hunt has a soft spot for Arrowhead Stadium and the legacy his dad built. But what you're forgetting are there are 99 other people, business people around him, telling him that there is no viability at the Arrowhead site. And this is inevitably what's pushing them away, is the idea that as it sits, even if they had built a new stadium on the Arrowhead site, which I don't think was ever going to happen, they were either going to just renovate and do this. They had already years ago accepted that there was no point in developing anything around Arrowhead. It was just going to be Arrowhead. Whether they renovated or this or that, there was no point. They did a bunch of studies. They looked at the things that they talked about, like, what if we put some businesses by here? Or remember when they were talking about like condos over by the Kaufman and Arrowhead sites? They realized at some point that the economic benefit of building over there that way wasn't going to work. So, like, it was going to be an issue. And so they didn't do it as a result of that. And in the end, I still think building the new stadium makes sense. I will miss Arrowhead, so will you. And I do think that the biggest thing they will lose in doing this is the atmosphere part of it. Because I just don't think you will ever be able to recreate the aura and the stadium atmosphere to the same degree that it was or is with Arrowhead currently. I don't think you can fully recreate that and never will be able to fully recreate that. Even worse so, in my opinion, if it's a dome in a weird way. Because then you're like in this enclosed area versus like a retractable part. I think it'd be even harder then.
Yeah, like the one thing when they've discussed a new stadium, it's never been open air, so that's not the discussion. So it's either the question is it a retractable roof or is it a dome? It's always been phrased as a dome. Dome means that it's not a roof. So I don't know. Yeah. I lean towards it's going to be a dome, not a retractable roof. We'll see.
They won Final Fours. They won Super Bowls.
Open air is not in play. Like the whole point of building a new stadium, and people can agree or disagree, but this is the Chiefs' thought on it, is that, of course, not only are there going to be way more suites and it's about new revenue opportunities for you. They are a business. They are getting a deal in their mind, a much better deal in their opinion, to go to the state of Kansas versus staying in Missouri. And also remember, Missouri would require another public vote. There's not a public vote needed with this team going to Kansas. Now, we can get into nitty-gritty next week if in fact this all becomes official of, there's certainly discussion around the star bonds and what is realistic in terms of the backing of the star bonds compared to what Missouri was doing. We can get into all that kind of stuff once everything is done and it's signed and everything. But in terms of the fan reaction, I told you earlier, Cody, I think if you're someone that lives on the Missouri side of the state line and you're in Jackson County, I'm not expecting you to be all excited. I get it. Like
you shouldn't be happy your teams are leaving, unless I guess you didn't want to pay the sales tax anymore.
I totally get it. We've got a huge chunk of our audience that's in Missouri, a huge chunk of our audience that's on the Kansas side of the state line.
I just always assume it's 50-50 based on population of the city anyway.
Whatever it may be, right? Yeah, whatever the breakdown is. There's going to be people that are going to hate this. There's going to be people on the Kansas side of that are excited about it. Cody lives on the Missouri side. I live on the Kansas side. I've spent my entire life going to sporting events on the Missouri side. I would have no issue if that's what I got to keep doing. And I certainly am obviously excited if, in fact, it means one of the teams is coming to Kansas. Like, there can be pride, the same pride that people have on the Missouri side and why they're upset if in fact this happens, because they're prideful to say that Chiefs and the Royals are in their backyard. Like, that's a huge thing for people in Missouri. I think the difference
is sometimes people like rub your nose in it. Yeah, suck it, Missouri, and that's when people
Cody,
get
for
like
20
this.
years that's been happening for Missouri people towards Kansas.
And I would say like
for 50 years that's been happening.
There's always people who do that kind of no matter what. I would say you and I have not been like that, and I'd say that that's when it starts to turn like that's when people get ugly about it. Is when they start doing this like. Not like you're happy it's going to Kansas, but screw you, Missouri, we got you.
Yeah, I would just respond and I would say that what you just described, that's been happening for 30 years from Missouri people towards Kansas people as well. So it goes both ways. I'm with you that I think ultimately, there will be people that will, because of the border, will refuse to go to a Chiefs game in Kansas. And that's your right to do that, obviously. I think that's silly, right? I think that's silly, but that's... Nobody's going to force you to go to a game. There will be people. This notion, though, that like you're not a fan of the team anymore if they go to Kansas, I don't understand. I don't get that at all. Makes no sense to me. They're staying in the metro area. They're staying in the metro area.
Yeah, if it were the St. Louis Rams and all of a sudden they're the LA Rams, I'm not saying you have to be a fan of them anymore. That's a completely different conversation. I did see, we didn't even talk about it. Did you see the new renderings of the current landing? They put out new renderings for, they named it too, I guess, that riverfront area that's going to be by the KC Current. I'm just pointing out, mostly just because we were talking about development in the city and all the other stuff. That's all. I don't think it's an accident that the KC Current put out their renderings for their little entertainment area.
Do you think it's
down there by the river?
If in fact Monday's the day, it looks like, of course, the announcement. And real quick, I'll address one text. Someone says probably because they're the Kansas City, Missouri teams.
Not for long.
But they're I mean, this is not me trying to be a jerk.
And they're not.
But they're not. They're Kansas City's team. And when they go to the Kansas side, they will be called the Kansas City Chiefs as well.
Metro areas just exist.
The fact.
When when somebody says, "Hey, Alex, where are you from?" He says Kansas City. I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with having like civic pride in what we consider to be the hub part of the main part of the city. We live in Kansas City. I lived in Kansas City, Missouri proper for a long time, and now technically live in Gladstone.
But that text, Cody, is what I meant by...
It's like, it doesn't have to... But like, that doesn't exist on both sides.
But that text is what I meant by...
Doesn't need to exist that way.
But that text is exactly what I meant, which is, if you're on the Missouri side, for you obviously are prideful, and you should be, that you also have these teams in your backyard, right? That's a huge part of your identity, I think, if you're somewhere on the Missouri side of the state line.
I never view it that way. It's just in the city.
That's you.
Chiefs and Royals are in town, and it is in the city, and they belong in the city. I don't really, other than that, I don't, whatever.
So if you're someone on the Missouri side, if that is part of your identity, and one, if not both those teams are leaving, and now they're on the Kansas side, I get being upset. But like that text is the example. You said like you don't think that people use it as
no.
It happens.
You're taking that way too far. I'm saying don't do it. Be better. Be different. Yeah. Like if that has been happening to you and you didn't like it, well then why would you do it now if you didn't like it? This is all those like treat others how you wish to be treated. It's not like this back and forth of like, and look, some of this is completely reopened the border war from the business side perspective. For sure. And like Kansas has actually been trying to steal like some tenant partner from the plaza, and Missouri will start giving tax incentives back for Kansas businesses. Like they tried to get rid of that for years because it had become like a real sore spot between the two metro areas.
Yeah. Again, the Dallas Cowboys play in Arlington. The New York Jets and New York Giants play in New Jersey. The LA
Chicago
Rams,
Bears are probably getting ready to play in Indiana. Who the hell knows?
The LA Rams play in Inglewood, California, not Los Angeles. The Atlanta Braves don't play in Atlanta.
Nope.
They play in a suburb. So this idea, like the name change stuff, is bizarre to me. What about I know it's the Chiefs right half hour, but this is Chiefs adjacent. What do you make about the Royals end of it? Because I think a lot of the momentum for the last couple of weeks, the thought was from a lot of people that the Royals were going to be the ones announcing something Monday. That is not going to be the case. They're not on the docket for this meeting on Monday.
I'm a little confused. I guess I thought that they had the momentum. And look, these two probably, their partnership where they kind of had to pretend to like each other for a while because they shared a parking lot. They didn't really like each other, I don't think, at any particular point. But the pretend, we're a team and we were on a ballot together. And I feel like the Chiefs like slid right underneath them and said, we're going to Kansas. And like, damn. We were still working on some stuff. My guess is that the favorite for the Royals is still to go to Kansas. It seems like that's where all the momentum has been going. All of the other conversations like North Kansas City and others always seem like we're keeping the door open on that. We're not saying no to these things. Conversations are fluid, but concrete and building and land and all this other stuff always have felt like for the last month, 2 months, have been gearing towards the Royals to Kansas. My only thought is there some Hail Mary play on the Missouri side or the city side that is, if this thing happens on Monday, which it, by all accounts, looks like it's barreling towards that, and they announce the Chiefs are coming to Kansas, is there a Hail Mary player from the city and Mayor Lucas, from North Kansas City and their property? Is there somebody, and because Missouri's money's been laid out, is there somebody in the city who thinks they can move money around in a way that can drag the Royals back on here in a last-minute deal? And last minute being, I'm assuming they've been having some conversations anyway. But the truth is, I just assume it'll take them longer to announce, but they'll still eventually go to Kansas.
As in like the downtown stadium, maybe? Or just the North KC?
Either, I guess, in this case. But, I mean, I don't know how many different sites have been mentioned between the Royals. Royals have been mentioned in every part of town, in every municipality, in every different area. And it doesn't feel like we've ever gotten particularly close to them just opening a press conference and saying, we're going here. Like, they always seem like, if you ask them, if you press them a little bit as an organization, they're always like, we'll make an announcement when we're ready. They never seem like they're ready to make it.
Yeah, I think everybody that's been following it now and now seeing how it's, at least on the Chiefs side, coming to an end, the most likely scenario is that the Royals are also going to Kansas. But that one seems like it's still weeks, if not months away from coming together. I mean, I know Bob has been reporting a lot of the details on what's going on there and the negotiations with the J and how that's complicated things and how that's going to play out over there on 119th and Knoll or so. So I still think that's where they end up as well. But you do wonder, I think it's fair, if the Chiefs officially announce a move to Kansas, is there something there in the state of Missouri, KC-Mo, Jackson County, that they haven't, I guess, been willing to do, that suddenly they are when they realize that one of the teams is leaving and they don't want to lose two of them? I don't know. I'm just saying that would be the only thing that could change this, because otherwise it feels like they're pretty far down the line, down the road, I should say, on the Kansas side when it comes to the Royals as well.
Same thing applies. It's not, I'll go to teams on either side of the state line. You went to teams on, like, that part's fine. I will be far more disappointed in the Royals for choosing this because it goes against their plan. And I understand they have to feel like we gave a chance to execute our plan and not spit in our face, but like, it ain't gonna get close. Nobody was on our side. Nobody wanted our plan. So now we got to do a different plan. And that's fine. I understand why they would feel that way. It's just not what I wanted for a baseball stadium. And it's always going to be hard to shake the idea that is baseball downtown is what baseball should be. And if you just stick it at 115th or 119th and all, I'm sure it'll be a cool stadium with amenities. And I'm sure when I'm in the stadium, it'll be fun to go to and all the stuff that exists in a new ballpark. But I will be bummed.
Yeah,
at the setup
for the last, I don't know, 5 years now that we've been talking about this. I think from the beginning, you and I definitely want downtown baseball. But does downtown want downtown baseball? Does KC-Mo want downtown baseball? And doing the right people want it, I guess, is the right question. And the answer so far has been no. And the original plan was downtown baseball. We all know that. Like, they can end up going to the suburbs. That was not the original plan. But you got to go where you can get the deal. And if that means it's 119th and all, that's where it's at. It's not my preferred destination, but that might be the right destination because that's where the deal actually ends up being for them. You know what I mean?
But for and like I get it, man. It's going to have an economic impact on the urban core, Kansas City, and some other areas. And this goes back to the same thing. These people be like, it's not worth it, and we shouldn't pay these taxes for it. You and I have said this, and I think this still stands. If there were no economic benefit of having the team in your area, in OP, in Leawood, in Wyandotte, or wherever, then teams wouldn't keep vying for this. States wouldn't keep vying for this. Counties wouldn't keep vying for this. You can try to pretend to yourself that it's a money loser to take on these teams and build these stadiums. It clearly isn't. Or cities wouldn't keep building these things. I think genuinely, maybe other than the fact I think the rollout on it was really bad. From the Royals and the Chiefs, but even more so the Chiefs. The two biggest things I think that set them back were the rollout. I thought the Royals just kept stepping on their own toes, didn't roll it out real cleanly, chose a site, got kicked off their site outside of that, and then the Chiefs rolled out a half-ass plan. And then I thought the issue being that people didn't want to fund stadiums anymore.
Just got this sent in the last 30 seconds or so. Jackson County Executive Phil Lavoda, he just announced that there will be a press conference. There's other topics going on this afternoon, taxes, right, property taxes and all that, but also an update on the Chiefs partnership. That's expected at 2 o'clock at the Jackson County downtown courthouse.
Are they trying to?
Again, it could just be a statement. I have no idea. It just says property tax updates, including timelines, taxpayer resources, and next steps. Chiefs partnership, including coordination and key updates.
They're just going to say
today
we're
at
still
2
in
o'clock.
negotiation.
I don't know, just something
Nothing's
to keep an eye on, just passing the information along. But that is from a county executive.
Just out of curiosity, do you let the new Arrowhead Stadium name die forever? Or do you call it New Arrowhead?
I think you have to let it die, right? It'd be weird to move it, wouldn't you? Wouldn't that be weird to call
This
it
is a real
Arrowhead?
conversation we haven't had yet.
Wouldn't that be weird to call it Arrowhead if it's not Arrowhead anymore?
I think you would have to
think about the branding and the money they have tied up in that IP.
Yeah, no, I agree
They
with you.
have so much money tied up in the intellectual property that
So
is
you think they would just do the field sponsorship again, so it'd be Arrowhead.
I think they're going to call the new stadium Arrowhead, and I feel like that's wrong. It's going to feel wrong.
Well, people can choose to call it whatever they want, right? Because people will call it New Arrowhead.
They'll call it fake Arrowhead.
Yeah, or whatever.
They'll come up with the snide little names to call it.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. That part of it is they're like that applies to the same reason, now the building is changing, so this is different. Like we all call sandstone. It's not sandstone it's been 30
Yeah, but this would be a new stadium, so
exactly
totally different.
No, I'm with you, but I'm just saying like people call it whatever they want to call it. So I don't know what the Chiefs officially will want it called. I have no idea.
What else are they going to do? Just sell vintage stuff with Arrowhead on it? They've got a lot of money and potential money.
It could also be. You don't think that they're going to have this $3 billion, $2 billion stadium and not sell naming rights?
So no, it's not that. I just meant like all of the side action essentially on the whatever the new stadium is. It doesn't really matter what we call it. Crypto.com, like the LA Arena. No one's going to want to buy merch that is new stadium. The stadium will have no legacy of its own.
Yeah, that's
even
fine.
as a brand new stadium.
I don't know many fan bases, many stadiums other than Lambeau and Arrowhead that are.
Agreed.
How many people
That
are
are
buying
known by
US?
name?
I don't think people are buying US Bank Stadium gear in Minneapolis.
Totally agree. That's why I think they'll want to call it New Arrowhead.
No, it'll be
they're one of the few
sponsor.
people who actually own the right of Arrow.
Yeah, I think it's just
who
a new
actually
era.
profit off of that.
I hear you. I just think they're going to profit off of plenty of other stuff moving forward as well. And how about a $1 billion naming rights deal or a $500 million naming rights deal? And it's pick your company.
Do Minnesota fans call it the bank because it's US Bank?
Ravens fan call M&T Bank Stadium the bank.
Yeah, and White Sox fans for a while called it the Cell when it was US Cellular, and then they changed the name to Guaranteed Rate. So they even took away the
Let me
nickname
ask you this in all honesty. You're right, there's a lot of imagery around the Arrowhead thing, but do you own any piece of clothing? I don't know, maybe you do, that says, that is literally just about Arrowhead?
Two. Well, I have one that has the stadium on it that was from Charlie Hustle.
I have one hoodie.
So I have
it
one.
says Loudest Fans 142.2 or whatever.
But even just think about the biggest sites in this city. Arrowhead, Pride. It is it's their image. Mm-hmm. It's their logo is an Arrowhead.
The logo's not changing. Calm down.
I understand,
but
how do you separate yourself from that name, the name Arrowhead?
Yeah, I hear you.
And it is your logo. You're just going to say our logo's an Arrowhead now? I think they're going to try to name the new stadium Arrowhead is my guess, but I could be wrong. I'm just saying it's
I
don't think you can completely separate the two is all.
I don't know the definitive answer. Neither one of us do. I think most likely a brand new dome stadium probably has a naming rights deal.
Feels like they're going to call it New Arrowhead. That's my official prediction.
On the side of the building, you think it's going to say New Arrowhead? No chance. You actually think in the LED lighting, it's going to say New Arrowhead? No way.
They'll refer to it as Arrowhead.
Yeah, it'll say Arrowhead on the side, or it'll be I don't know.
Arrowhead Field?
Amazon Stadium. I don't know. I'm just coming up with a random name. It'll be something like that. You're already.
Someone says Arrowhead at the dot. I'm just curious now. I hadn't thought that hard about it. We hadn't talked about it a ton.
There'll be plenty of time.
But again, it's on their helmet. It is an icon, but it's also
the symbol
stadium.
is, but it doesn't say Arrowhead on it. The symbol is the symbol can still be part of the legacy of the franchise. They're not changing their uniforms.
No,
everything else is the same.
Except for that one year, they got to do the City Connect.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see what they come up for that. The Seattle Seahawks uniforms last night, by the way, stunk.
Yeah, so they were built a new stadium, called it Mile High. Yeah, and then but also, remember,
it was next door, though.
It was Sports Authority Field. It was Invesco Field at Mile High. It was
same
right now,
now.
Arrowhead at GHA Field at Arrowhead, whatever.
And in fairness, they are a mile high, so they can call it
Arrowhead West.
Wherever they
Arrowhead West.
Just like it's a branch of.
Oh boy, we got about 5 years to figure this part out. We'll
I
see.
want to figure it out now, today.
How soon do you think we would know the name of it?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know.
A year or two?
Well, it depends if they have naming rights. Naming rights is not going to be announced.
I'm sure there would be.
It'd be much further down the road.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, I guess on Monday or Tuesday, if the renderings could say Arrowhead, I have no idea. I really don't.
Yeah, that's the question. We'll see.
The same thing. I'd ask you the same thing about the Royal Stadium. They're not going to call the new one Kaufman.
No, but like in a weird way.
Why is it? You just think it's because of the imagery part of it?
Yes, it's a whole part. Like Kaufman's just the dude who owned it. It's not like that's the building. Arrowhead is far more ingrained into the entire IP and branding.
Oh, you
of
just
the
call it the
Chiefs.
Crown or something like that. If they got the Crown somewhere, like as a part of the Royal Stadium, you just call
But
it the
that's
Crown.
a nickname. That wouldn't be an official. You know what I mean? Like that's what fans would call it. But just like in Baltimore, it's M&T Bank Stadium.
the
They
actual
call it
name of
the
it? Oh,
Bank.
yeah, I got you.
The new
I
Royal
gotcha.
Stadium will just be called whatever brand name stadium, and then people will come up with whatever
Yeah.
nickname they want to call
Someone
it.
said Arrow Dome. Arrow Dome. Anyway, all right, up next, we'll get to what's trending. We'll also get back into the Chiefs on the field situation heading into the offseason. Joel Corey, a former NFL agent, will talk to him about the Chiefs cap situation, Trent McDuffie potential trade, talks around that, and would a restructure be any different with the Mahomes injury now?
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, this is Frank from Woodyard Barbecue, and we have $20 slabs of baby backs and $2 beers for the rest of 2025. With family gatherings happening, Woodyard can cater any size event. We also have firewood, oak for the fireplace, pinyon for the fire pit, and hickory, pecan, and cherry for the smoker. We sell it all by the log or by the bag. We've been in business for over 100 years and are proud to be part of Kansas City barbecue history. Find us at 3001 Merriam Lane in KCK or online at woodyardbbq.com. Kansas City has the best fans and the best barbecue. Eat it, smoke it, live it, Woodyard Barbecue.
The world's largest sports book at your fingertips has arrived in Missouri. Circus Sports is sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service, Circus Sports is better for the better. From football to basketball, college sports to pro, start betting like the pros in Missouri. Built for sports bettors by sports bettors. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. For problem gambling, call the Problem Gamblers Helpline at 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
The holidays are here, and that means Smokehouse Barbecue. Why fuss this holiday season when Smokehouse Barbecue can cater all of your holiday events? That's what we do. Holiday parties, cater and burnt ends. Holiday parties, bring those hickory pit beans. Smokehouse Barbecue will take care of everything. You can visit them at one of their 3 locations in Independence, Gladstone, and Zona Rosa, or place all of your orders at smokehousebbq.com. That's smokehousebbq.com. For over 35 years, locally owned and family operated, it's Smokehouse Barbecue. We love entertaining during the holidays, but we also love spending time with friends and family. That's why we're letting Hy-Vee do everything, because Hy-Vee has convenient pre-made holiday meal packs for any size gathering. Made fresh and ready-to-heat menu favorites like succulent turkey, honey glazed spiral ham, or prime rib, plus savory sides, rolls, and a choice of dessert. And don't forget the wine and spirits department. So pick up your meal the day before the holiday and then just heat and serve on the big day. This holiday season, let Hy-Vee do the cooking while you take the credit, only at Hy-Vee.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee
Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a Fuel Saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
FanDuel Friday is turning it up with an NBA happy hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. FanDuel is dropping limited time specials to get you in the zone. Boost, bonus, surprises, all designed to give you that Friday energy. This isn't just another promo. It's your weekly pregame NBA happy hour every Friday, 6 to 7:30 Eastern, only on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. So visit FanDuel.com/KFNZ. Use my promo code to grab your reward before the clock expires. Celebrate the beginning of the NBA season in style. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of the NBA and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expirations, league requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement. Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
No gift? No problem. With Target's last-minute gifts, the holidays are a breeze. You can score on the hottest toys, beauty must-haves, chocolatey stocking stuffers, and much more. And if you need it now, no worries. Swing by any Target store today and snag all the stocking stuffers and gifts for the most magical season yet. Step into the holidays, check off everything on your list, and save big on your last-minute gifts. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Need parts fast? Need them now? O'Reilly is fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly Auto Parts stand apart. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy two Brake Best Select rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10 more. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20 more. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/play.
Hey guys, it's Cody Tapp, and come watch the game with me on Sunday, starting at noon at Dave & Buster's at the Legends. And you'll have a chance to win an autographed Jalen Watson jersey, plus Guns N' Roses tickets. Come join me in 96.5 The Fan at Dave & Buster's at the Legends, where every game is a big game.
Listen to the Chiefs and Titans on Sunday with pregame starting at 9. Kickoff at noon with Mitch, Danon, and Kling. Right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM. HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. In Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit TellyTire.com today.
Number one on what's trending, obviously the news around the state of Kansas and the Chiefs. The expectation that Monday at a meeting in Topeka, there will be an announcement to announce that the Chiefs are headed to Kansas. Still no official word. The Chiefs, of course, not commenting publicly on that either. But all signs, including reporting from our own Bob Fesco, suggesting that assuming the deal gets wrapped up prior to that and the Chiefs show up in Topeka on Monday, then this thing's going to happen. We'll talk more about it, of course, throughout the next 2 hours on the show as well.
Next up on What's Trending, the Royals made a trade today for Matt Strahm, obviously former first-round pick from the club. who's been with the Phillies the last 3 years. They sent Jonathan Bolin back in return. Buster Olney had sent out a tweet just a couple of minutes ago, said other teams have asked about Cole Reagans in a number of deals with the Royals, and said that they're being told that the Royals fully intend to keep lefty Cole Reagans. He was doing that as part of a tweet of pointing out the Royals' current bullpen depth, which is Estevez, Strom, Urseg, Schreiber, Mears, Daniel Lynch, Steven Cruz, and he's projecting Lewinder Avila. Yeah.
Elsewhere on what's trending,
plan on keeping Reagans.
Local college basketball tomorrow. Kansas State taking on South Dakota. That's the only local in action tomorrow.
What's that, the rest of the holiday week?
Front, yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting. Normally you get 3 college hoops games. Not so much. Next up on what's trending, 3 bowl games today. That's it. Western Michigan versus Kennesaw State. It's on now. You don't want to watch it. It's 40
the game is over.
to nothing. Western Michigan. 40
The first play
to
of the game.
nothing.
The first play of the game was a 70-yard touchdown. The next play was a pick. It was a fumble recovery for a touchdown. They had 14 points.
I am not exaggerating. It is 41 to nothing. I apologize. They maybe just got an extra point. There is 13 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they were 34-0 at half.
Running clock.
Yep. Memphis and North Carolina State will stick on. Then the big one, obviously tonight, Alabama and Oklahoma for the college football playoff.
That's what's trending. These bowl
And
games
you're trying to
do
tell us that
not
this was the
interest
best one of the
us.
day, is what he said.
That's what he
Other
did
than
say.
Alabama,
This is the best game of the day.
I said between the 2 non-college football playoff games, I mean, you get 2 conference champions. You would, I mean, on paper, it's
Because it's the best one. You did say Western Michigan and Kennesaw State. I was like, ugh. You go, it's actually a really great matchup, and it's 41-0.
Not so much.
Right. You give up a touchdown on the first play and have a fumble recovery. Have recover for a touchdown down 14-0 in a minute is obviously very tough. I
have no interest in any of the bowl games unless they are college football playoff first round matchups. Of course, come up Friday night and then all day Saturday. That's it.
Yeah, tonight Bama and Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'll put that one
standalone game.
I was up late watching that Seahawks game last night. We'll talk about it later in the show.
Great game.
Oh, awesome game, especially when you know that it meant whichever team won controlled their destiny to the number 1 seed in the NFC side, and all the Sam Darnold stuff. And then the 2-point, just a million storylines in that game, in addition to being an excellent game. I guess only last thing in what's trending, I did see that Mensa is returning to Duke as their starting quarterback next year. So one less quarterback.
Big news for them in the ACC.
One less quarterback entering the portal. I saw the. I still think, man,
he was looking at the NFL draft. I think Kuiper had him in the top 5 of his quarterback rankings. He's really good.
What's that make you, like a 3rd-round pick this year?
Probably would have been that, which is probably why he came back.
Yeah,
I can make more money at Duke than I can as a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, it's very different than that. Coming up in a couple minutes, we'll talk to Joel Corey. He's obviously a cap expert as we look at these things, because I am kind of curious, Gold, how quickly can the Chiefs resolve their obvious, I think, cap issues? Because if you look at 2026 projected cap space, right, and we know that right now the Tennessee Titans are projected to have the most at about $100 million. So they can spend money on whatever the hell that they want. But the Chiefs are going to have a high draft pick, which means they need more money to pay for those draft picks. And they're going to need cap space in order to resolve some of their issues, whether that be at running back or some of these other teams kind of to go with it. Right now, they're projected to have the second least and are $45 million over the cap as it currently sits. So we'll talk to Joe Corey about that in just a few minutes.
Yeah, he's on the line. Let's go out there. Former NFL agent, kind enough to give us some great insight, looking ahead to the offseason a little bit as he joins us here on 96.5 The Fan. Joel, it's great to have you on the show. I'm just curious from an agent perspective, before we get into some of the numbers, when you have a high-profile client like a Patrick Mahomes and you have an injury that's as serious as an ACL, just what are the conversations like there, I guess, agent to player, and how that balance works between the team and the player, even when you're discussing rehab and where to have surgery and all of that?
Well, as under the CBA, players have a right to a second medical opinion. The team's going to want you to use the team doctor for any and all surgeries. But one thing I found out early on being an agent was I would end up managing a bunch of injuries. So you develop relationships with doctors who specialize in all various body parts that get injured. So you'd exercise your second medical opinion with whatever doctor you felt comfortable and go to someone that has a very good track record with knee surgeries. Then with the rehab, the team's going to want any player to do the rehab during the off season at the facility The better player you are, the more stature you have, the more latitude or leeway you have to do the rehab someplace else.
And it sounds like he's going to do the rehab here, I guess, at least on that end, or at least that was the initial reporting. Does it change anything? A lot of people thought they were going to rework Patrick Mahomes' contract. Obviously, they can still move money around. The deal's set up that way. But people thought maybe it was going to be a let's tear it up, redo it, start from scratch kind of thing, knowing where he's paid compared to other guys. Do you think this injury would change that from the Chiefs' perspective?
I never thought 2026 was the year to do that, just because when he did the restructure, renegotiation in 2023, which only shifted money upwards, he's making $56.75 million in 2026. So he's not underpaid from that standpoint. But if you look at what he has total over the 6 years left, it's roughly $265 million. Josh Allen's at $330. The money starts to drop tremendously in 2028. Next year he's making $52.9, and then it drops to like $27 million in 2028. So I always thought 2027 or 2028 would be the year you would do a real deal, real renegotiation, as opposed to just shifting money around.
Does that mean you think, based on their cap situation, they could just eat the full freight of his cap number this year?
Oh, absolutely not. He's got the second highest cap number in the NFL at a little over $78 million. They're going to restructure it. And if they do what they did last year, which is chop his base salary down to league minimum, keep the workout bonus intact, then they're going to pick up basically $43.5 million of cap space, and that's going to wipe out basically the overage they seem to be on track to have, depending upon where the 2026 salary cap is set. That always seemed like the most logical move, even if you did do a real deal, since he's making $56.75 million next year. You could accomplish the same type of thing and then start adding money beginning in 2028, and then you would guarantee 2026 through 2028 at signing, then 2029 would become fully guaranteed, invest early. So you could do some things like that if you wanted to rework the deal in a major way, as opposed to just doing a conventional salary cap restructure.
We're talking to Joel Corey, former sports agent. You can check out his work over at CBSSports.com as well. Chris Jones is a name throughout the season that has come up. You know, people have been frustrated maybe with his performance. He certainly is a pillar for this franchise, a future Hall of Famer. Next year, his cap hit is $44.8 million. He's not a free agent until 2029. Is there anything that they can do there? Should he be someone that maybe you're looking to trade? What do you think happens with that contract?
Well, he's got the second highest cap number for a non-quarterback and the highest cap number for a defensive player. In an ideal world, if you had the cap space, you'd leave it alone. You're probably going to restructure in some way, shape, or form, maybe not a full restructure, and you just take the roster bonus, which I think is like $16 million, and convert that. He'd have his best year. He's played better of late, but he's getting to, if I'm a team, you're not going to get Quentin Williams type things from him. Quentin Williams is the trade compensation. Quentin Williams is a lot younger, and I would be concerned that we're getting into the danger zone, although we have seen guys like Cameron Hayward, who's much older, that has played at a high level consistently into his mid 30s. So I don't think Chris Jones is going anywhere. You need more impact players. He's made the impact you've expected more of late, as opposed to what he looked like in the beginning of the year. So you got to hope you're getting the Chris Jones of the last few games on a go-forward basis, and that the decline doesn't hit in a huge way next year.
How difficult is it for these teams to take on this dead cap number? Everybody carries it every year, Joel. But like, for instance, right, Jawan Taylor, we don't expect back. Technically, I think he'd carry a $7 million dead cap hit. They'd save $20 million by letting him go. Obviously, going into next year, teams write these deals as a way of getting out of the final year of the deal. But how much is too much dead cap for someone to carry, I guess, before they start thinking really hard about it?
You mean collectively or just one particular individual player?
Collectively, I guess. The Chiefs have actually been better than most at it, considering the fact they have not carried a ton of dead cap over the years.
Oh, the Eagles don't care about dead cap because they're consistently there. Because I think they're like over $80 million this year. So that's the Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
The team who's going to win the AFC West this year, their previous quarterback, a record $85 million in dead cap taken over a 2-year period, $53 million last year, $32 million this year, and that's just one player. So it's not the albatross it used to be. The cap has been going up at a pretty steady rate in recent years. It's not like it was right after the lockout where you had very nominal cap increases from year to year. So it really hurt you to have extreme dead cap hits, but you can work around it now.
What do we do about Trent McDuffie's deal? He'd asked about Chris Jones. Trent McDuffie's another player who we think wisely has waited out the market and wants to be paid as the highest paid corner in the NFL. Do you view him as that kind of player? And I guess if not, you'd mentioned Chris Jones couldn't get Quinnen Williams return. Do you think Trent McDuffie could get Sauce Gardner return? Or is that a one-off, as in only one team was willing to pay 2 first-round picks?
Well, part of the attraction with Sauce Gardner was you'd already given him the deal. So for going to the Colts, it's not $30 million per year. It's like $26 million. So you won't get that type of return if you decide to trade him. You're getting more than a first-round pick plus. The question, and this is a team which has not historically paid corners. L'Jarius Sneed, Charvarius Ward, both walked. You got a choice to make. You're not going to lose both corners because Jalen Watson is a free agent. You're picking one. Watson, obviously, much lower price point. McDuffie, you're right, is going to want top-of-the-market money. It depends on what you're looking for in terms of what the team looks like on a go-forward basis. If you're trying to increase your draft capital, you got 6 picks, then he's the most logical trade candidate. But he can play inside and outside better than Stingley and Garner can, because you can stick him out the outside, put him in the slot. He does both at a high level. Those guys can't do both at a high level like he does. Like, they're more outside corners, but yeah, him waiting out the market was great for him. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with McDuffie.
Before we let you go, as we're talking to Joel Corey, former sports agent, you mentioned Jalen Watson's name. He's had a really good year and a big spot contract year for him. And we were kind of telling our listeners a few weeks ago, people are probably going to be surprised what he gets on the open market. What do you think is realistic for a player like him?
I see his floor like Zion McCollum, which was $16 million. It wouldn't surprise me if he topped what a former Chiefs corner got, an older guy, Charvarius Ward got to go to the Colts, which is $18 million per year. But that's why I say you're picking your poison. You're not paying both those guys. It's which one of these two do you want to pay, Watson or McDuffie?
When you look, I guess, in your case, what would you, if you were running a team, which one would you go with?
I would explore our options. I would have nobody is untouchable except Mahomes on this team. There's a price for everybody. I would see what the price would be for McDuffie, and if someone wants to do something really stupid and make me an offer I can't refuse, I'd have to take it. I remember once upon a time, Laramie Tunsil was supposedly untouchable for the Dolphins, but the Texans made an offer that couldn't be refused. So you never know until you shop someone to see what the actual return could be.
All right, last one. I lied. I got a non-Chiefs question for you. You mentioned Russell Wilson and the dead cap a couple years ago. The Tua situation, he's getting benched. How do you see that playing out with, what is it, a $99 million cap hit?
Yeah, you're going to have $99 million of dead money for release, and just a question of how you want to allocate it. If you're trying to get rid of him in 2026, nobody's going to trade for that contract. One, the contract, and then the durability concerns, plus the performance he put out there this year. The way to do it would be to exercise the option, which is going to lower his base salary, add more proration, you'll pick up like $1 million of cap space this year relative to his cap number and have almost $44 million of dead money in 2026. So the $99 million would be allocated that way. You can't take a full $99 million cap hit given their cap situation in 1 year.
Yeah, that is what a mess it is down in Miami. Joel, great stuff as always. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Sure, thanks for having me.
There you go. Joel Corey, former sports agent. Check out his work over at CBS Sports.
I asked about the dead cap thing because I looked it up, and since 2022, do you know where they've ranked in dead cap money every year? 28th, 29th, 29th, 30th, 31st. So, like, they are currently with zero dead cap money essentially on the books for next year. 32nd. They have $200,000 in dead cap currently on contract for next year. The reason why they have been able to skirt as close to the cap, I think, as they have, Gold, is they've been willing to play out these people's contracts and pay them, but not get rid of the dead cap and get younger. So, like, part of holding this core together has been, we'll pay Chris Jones his money and we'll move on. Because that was the most interesting part about all of that is, you're going to restructure Chris Jones? Then you got to be sure you want him to be on your roster for another 2 or 3 years. If you restructure, you're not just kicking that can down the road. You're keeping that player on your team for years. And you got to be sure that his performance level is going to match what will still be maybe not as high of a cap number as this year, Gold, but a very, very high one.
Just because you love something doesn't mean you're good at it. But Alex Gold and betting on sports? Pretty good. It's time for Golden Locks.
All right, let's get to these. We check in on our Circa Sports contest, Circa Millions. Of course, sports betting in Missouri has arrived. Check out Circa Sports, the Circa Sports app. So we're down to the final couple weeks, man. We've got, 6 of us involved in this. You, me, Dusty, Bink, Spec, Rob, all making 5 picks a week as a group.
Perfectly average.
Yeah, we are literally out of 5,800 entries, I think it is. We are now tied for 1,290. We were 160th. We were 160th.
Remember those days?
We were once tied for 68th.
60th. Well, what a feeling that was. I felt alive.
I'll give Dusty credit. He's on a hot streak. So we each put in 3 picks, and then the majority rules, and we do our 5. Dusty is gone. Let's see, last 2 weeks, 6-0. Yeah, 6-0 the last 2 weeks.
I hope he's been playing his own picks.
9-1 or something like that. 9-1 the last 3. Something like that?
Woo.
Something like that.
8-1? I guess
8-1. Yeah, 8-1. Sorry. So he's doing well. Anyway, as a group, where are we going this week? So looks like everybody but Dusty and Rob have put in their picks already. Looks like the consensus this week, man. Bink, myself, and Spec are all going Green Bay Pick'em. Green Bay Pick'em against the Chicago Bears this weekend. That'll be one of our official picks. It also looks like you and I are in agreement, and Bink is on the Chargers plus 2.5. The Chargers are taking on the Cowboys, so that's probably going to be our second pick. And then the third one is up in the air right now. There's
a little bit. We'll see what Dusty and Rob do.
You and Bink both like Pittsburgh plus 7, so that might end up being one. I'm not there. My only other one I do like Tampa minus the 3, but nobody else is there yet, so I don't know if we'll end up using it.
I'm not anti Tampa minus 3. It just depends on whether or not
I think the Panthers are done.
Last
week, they're the same old Panthers. Last week, man.
Panthers are done. I'm not arguing that. They definitely look like they let the Saints get him in Tyler Shuck in a do-or-die playoff game, essentially, for them. They let Shuck tear him up in the second half. And, I mean, you just can't. That feels like a team getting ready to lay down. And so I get the notion that team's getting ready to hang it up and call it quits. We had so much promise, man. We were in good shape. Much promise.
Now my goal is just to finish at least in the top 1,000, and that'll be the top 20% or something like that.
We have an anytime touchdown in station, in building thing, and Drew's currently the leader.
Yeah. So beginning of the season, there's like 15 of us in this, and the contest is in fake money, $10 every week on any. It has to be at one anytime touchdown bet. You can pick a minus 400 or a plus 20, 20 to 1, plus 2,000, whatever it is. And I don't remember if you hit a big one or if you've been consistent, but Drew's in first place out of everybody in the building right now. And everybody now, other than Drew, is just taking on purpose 15-1 long shots because it's the only way we can catch up.
I started doing that from the very beginning of the season.
Are you close?
Never
Is anybody catching? Like, is it Nathan? Is it Nathan who's closest to you?
It pretty much is me and Nathan in terms of positive money. I think JT or Bink might also be in the positive as well. But I've got a gap. It started off with consistency, and then I got a nice one with Mitchell Tinsley when he was at plus 38.
So are you just picking conservative ones now?
Yes and no. Like last week, I picked Tinsley again. The Bengals didn't score any points last week, so that didn't work out too well. And then I picked Kyron Williams. They gave the ball to Blake Corum instead. I was nervous though because Cody picked Matt Stafford at plus 2,200, and I was worried because
they don't do the QB sneak.
I thought maybe scramble.
If you hit that, Cody, you'd be leading right now. You'd have been the leader in the clubhouse.
I know. He was 22
from bottom of the barrel to the top.
He has one rushing touchdown in the last 5 years. I was just trying to.
What's your pick this week? I went Hollywood Brown on our board for any time.
Well, I went Stafford. It didn't work.
Yeah,
I was Kyron Williams, and that didn't work.
So you guys okay?
Yep.
Man, you didn't even get Kyron.
I'm 0 for 4 on Thursday night picks. I think I need to
stay away.
I should have been stayed away, but
generally, from a betting perspective, I dodge Thursday nights all the time.
It's unpredictable.
They're weird.
It's a great game yesterday, though.
It was an awesome game. We'll talk more about it later in the show, I know, but it was an awesome game.
All right, up next, we'll get back into the stadium conversation, where things stand. Of course, there's an announcement expected on Monday that the Chiefs are headed to Kansas. We'll tackle that from a different angle, and also the random question of the day right here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
FanDuel Friday is turning it up with NBA Happy Hour. Every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, FanDuel is dropping limited time specials to get you in the zone. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all designed to bring that Friday energy. It's not just another promo, it's your weekly pregame. NBA Happy Hour every Friday, 6 to 7:30 Eastern, only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA and 96.5 The Fan. Visit FanDuel.com/Alex to grab your reward before the clock expires. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirement, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit chaosgamblinghelp.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a lot more.
And I completely agree. That's why I'll pay more for your car at GiveMeTheVin.com. That's the name of our new campaign. I'm worth more. You are worth more, and your car's worth more. And that's why I will pay more. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100 at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hey, Blues fans, ready to take your excitement to the next level? BetMGM is now available in Missouri, so shoot your shot with an official sports betting partner of the St. Louis Blues. Discover exciting Blues matchups by downloading the BetMGM app and getting instant access to a variety of parlay selection features and live betting options. Enjoy same-game parlays, boosted odds specials, the best daily promotions in the business, and so much more when you sign up. The chase is on for next Stanley Cup, so get hyped for the Blues action all season long with the official sports betting partner of the St. Louis Blues. BetMGM, now available in Missouri. Sign up today. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only, Missouri only, subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan, and the other place is your sports watching headquarters this fall. Now with 5 great area locations, Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Enjoy Red Friday specials all day.
McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Zero, like in 0% financing. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. The 2025 Subaru Share the Love event. Subaru will donate $250 to a charity of your choice to help those in need this holiday.
And locally, you can choose Hillcrest Transitional Housing. Lee Summit Subaru will also donate $50. Subaru of America will donate $250 per vehicle sold or leased during the promotional period, and store contribution may be combined with Subaru of America donation.
Hello, Kansas City. Christopher Youngers here with Cafe Trio. The seasons, they are changing. And if you haven't seen Cafe Trio during the holidays, from Halloween, the Plaza Lights, and Christmas with all of our decorations, well, then you've missed out on one of the most seasonally spectacular dining experiences in town. Offering live music, very spirited holiday decorations, and farm-to-table fresh menus, Cafe Trio is the place to be for the holidays. 45th and Main, CafeTrioKC.com.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Oh, no.
That's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A., member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
So, your small business is outgrowing your garage. You could go online, find a space, and get catfished. Or you could work with an agent who's a realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Game day headquarters is at Dave & Buster's, the ultimate watch destination. 30-plus screens, including jaw-dropping 40-foot TVs, will put you in the center of the action. Join Cody Tapp with 96.5 The Fan this Sunday, December 21st, from noon to 2 p.m. at Dave & Buster's, 1843 Village West Parkway off I-435 and I-70 in Kansas City. Enjoy half-price games Sunday through Thursdays. No purchase necessary. Cheer on KC at Dave & Buster's, where every game is a big game.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
All right, coming up in about 8 minutes or so, we will get to the random question of the day. We're also 25 minutes away from a fan club Friday. For some of you, this is a Friday, and then you're off of work for a while. If you're lucky enough to be, congratulations, because next week we all know it's Christmas, then the New Year, so holiday schedules are kicking in for a lot of people. We'll be here on Monday, though. Our full show will be here on Monday, so it could end up being a big day.
Depending on what happens on Monday,
with the reporting. Again, Fesco and others now also reporting that Monday the expectation is at this LCC meeting in Topeka. If the Chiefs are there, and most people believe they're going to be, they will agree to terms on a deal that would send the Chiefs over to the Kansas side of the state line and build a brand new, they keep phrasing as a dome stadium. We'll get official word at some point, but that's how they continue to phrase it whenever it's been brought up. In fact, I think even like the language in like in the star bomb, I thought it mentioned a dome. I can't remember.
You didn't really give an answer there earlier. Would that disappoint you?
So I would prefer a retractable roof. I mean, my thing is there's no way it's going to be an open air stadium. So I thought we all knew that.
Sure, but I assumed I'd still get some of the sun sometime.
Them saying dome is a little scary, I would say.
So that's my thing. You're asking my preference. I want a retractable roof. Yeah. I want the ability to have it open.
But you're fine with the dome?
Well, what am I going to do, Cody?
Well, I mean, I'm asking an opinion. I'm not going to be like, well, I just won't go now. But I think a dome sucks.
Yeah, I would prefer.
Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with.
No,
I'm asking you to give an opinion on if you like a dome.
And I'm saying no. I just told you. I told you I prefer the retractable roof. But you're asking me like, what are you going to do about it? Like nothing is the answer, Cody. Like, am I still going to go to games if they play in a dome? Damn right, I'm going.
I'm asking on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your dislike for a dome?
And I told you I prefer a retractable roof.
That's not answering the dome. That's just talking about retractable.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what are you talking about? I'm answering your question.
Gold doesn't like a dome,
I told you I prefer a retractable roof.
I'm asking your opinion only on a dome.
Obviously, I don't like it as much as a retractable roof.
All right.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Gold doesn't like it, but he has
I don't
to
think
do
I'm
with it
being that
regardless.
confusing on it.
I don't think I'm answering all that confusing. You said, Gold, do you like a dome? I said, I would prefer a retractable roof, which would be answering the question, meaning I don't want a dome compared to a retractable roof.
Sure, but I didn't know if you just didn't want a dome at all. Like,
well,
I feel like you're avoiding answering the question.
Oh my gosh, I just answered the question.
You're afraid to say that you hate a dome or something.
Screw that. I'm not afraid to say a damn thing. We host a radio show. I get my opinion all the time. Screw that. What are you talking about? I answered the question. I said, I do not prefer that over a retractable roof. I don't know. I'm sorry I didn't answer it the way you wanted me to answer it.
No, I think it'd be a mistake to do dome.
If you would have asked Cody, or if you'd have asked Gold, do you want a dome, yes or no? I think Gold would say no.
Yeah, fine. Do I need to see the words no? Is everybody happy? My goodness.
I don't know what's going on.
Good Lord.
I'm with you. I'm
mentioning a retractable dome. I didn't understand.
I'm following.
Still don't,
man.
if we're being honest. But look, I think it'd be a mistake for a variety of reasons. One being just the math on it. Dome teams typically do way worse in the postseason. I will say, dome typically keeps your players healthy, and Patrick Mahomes historically in a passing offense are usually better in domes. It just doesn't always travel as well. So there's like this whole football element of it that is kind of interesting to all of this, in the sense that dome teams win like 25%. Dome team quarterbacks win like 25% of their playoff games. They are historically worse because when they have to go on the road, they don't travel as well as other things. You and I know stats typically go up. Offenses are typically better. There's a reason why golf and health and all these other things, and Mahomes coming off, or he's going to be coming off, a very serious injury.
Yeah, I mean, this team's 5 years away. So, in terms of that impact and on-field performance,
I think a few years of Mahomes anyway.
I think the bigger thing is just, of course, the fan atmosphere, right? Like the fan atmosphere of what's going to be. Is it going to be quiet in a retractable roof or a dome stadium? No, it's not going to be quiet. Is it going to be Arrowhead? Of course not. It's not going to be Arrowhead if they move to a brand new stadium.
Are you sure?
Do you think that?
No, I don't think it will be.
Do you think they would try to re-break the record at any point with the new stadium?
No, I
think they would attempt it.
I don't know. This is when it would just come into like trying to, if you're going to build a new stadium, you just have to let go of the past. It's not Arrowhead, okay? And if you want to name it after your dad, now he's got a trophy named after him, so probably doesn't need it. But if you want to name it Hunt Family Stadium, I don't care. But it's not Arrowhead. It won't be Arrowhead. And so the biggest issue I have, and look, generally speaking from the Kansas end, I think they should build a new stadium. I didn't think the renovations made sense at Arrowhead. I didn't think they were worth the money. I thought the plan that the Chiefs put out for the renovations sucked and were terrible. And so I'm glad they didn't just put a canopy over the upper deck and build a concrete walkway and call it $1 billion spent. So like all those things are good. I don't know that the new Chiefs stadium will ever feel like the other Chiefs stadium. Some of that might just be mental. Some of that might be just not being able to ever get over the mental hurdle of what you remember, probably specifically like 90s and early 2000s Arrowhead felt like. It'll never feel like that again in a new building. And I think that's what you lose the most by going to Kansas.
Well, it's that, and then if the roof is not open, if it is actually a dome, you don't have even little stuff like the flyovers that you just become accustomed to. Like if it's domed, they can show on the jumbotron all they want of a flyover, but there's no point of the flyover if you can't see it from inside the stadium. Like that would be made for TV only. That wouldn't make any sense. So there's elements of that we would just not have anymore. And it sounds little, but I know that's some things that certain people do care about as well in a stadium. You and I have been to Allegiant out in Vegas, and
it feels more open air. Some of the new domes feel a little.
Well, they're just massive,
so big.
But what do you notice? Like there's not. Now maybe this is unique to the Raiders because their franchise stinks and they haven't had success in a very, very, very long time. But when we walk in that building, it's very bland, right? They have the torch, okay, or whatever the Al Davis flaming torch or whatever. But
how do you get personality in it?
Yeah, and that's
the same as people who build a new house versus buy one from the 60s.
They're going to have to, and that'll be a big challenge for them to try to make it unique, not just the same cookie cutter type of dome or retractable roof stadium.
What's tough is unlike Kauffman, in which I think when they build a new baseball stadium, I'll still want fountains. I don't think they'll have the crown scoreboard, but I'd be okay with that. There's no part of Arrowhead I feel obligated to put in the new stadium. Doesn't have to be a football-shaped scoreboard.
Right.
Okay? Because that to me is Arrowhead. Yeah. And Kauffman, in a weird way, it is Kauffman, but it just feels like what a baseball stadium has in this city versus Arrowhead as its own entity. I do view them differently in a lot of ways. And so there aren't parts, I don't need the spiral staircases, and that's in both. I don't need the football-shaped, but I do want it to feel more like, I don't want it to look like every round, Roomba-shaped dome that exists across the country. Can it at least feel like the one in Nashville that feels like a different stadium? Yeah. Can it not just look like how I think Dallas' stadium looks exactly like the one in LA? Doesn't look far off from the one in Vegas? Can it have some character? I don't think we're asking a ton to just say, can it feel unique to you? Can it feel unique to Kansas City? Can it feel like your stadium is not just
that'll be the challenge.
Every architecture firm built, and look, the same architecture firm has built all those is in Kansas City and will be building this one, I imagine. And so it's just how do you create unique interest, which both of the stadiums that the Chiefs and the Royals currently have.
Yeah, they'll have to come up with
personality.
some new character to the building. You're not going to have the history. You can't. The history of the building itself is going to start from scratch, not the franchise, but the actual building. And so, what elements do they have? I've told you I like the window setup that they have with the lighting, and that makes it look like it is outdoors, even if it's not. Which is in Minnesota, the U.S. Bank Stadium. The way they have, if anybody's watched any of the Vikings games during a Sunday afternoon, and I don't know if they're playing this Sunday afternoon or not. So you can, but that one of their end zones had huge natural light that comes in, not like the Cowboys where it's blinding the players.
They did enough research to know not to blind George Pickens as a pass comes his way.
But in Minnesota, there'll be times you'll watch a game and it actually looks like it's outdoors. From TV. I haven't been inside the stadium, in fairness, but I'm talking about on television. That one looks the best on TV from a lighting inside the stadium. It doesn't look like it's just in a dark inside of a dome. To me, that's the issue you run into in New Orleans, the Superdome down there. I have been in that. And while they've renovated and spent tons of money renovating, and it's got all these suites and stuff, it still is a darker. You're inside.
I will say the newer ones are better at preventing, because I went to the old Metrodome, and when you went to old domes or the one in New Orleans, you knew you were in a dome. I get it. You knew it. You could feel it the second your ears popped and you're like, well, I'm in a closet, and it doesn't feel like
RCA Dome in Indy was absolutely that way.
It feels like a closet. You just feel like you're stuck inside in a windowless cabin in the middle of the ocean. It's a terrible feeling. So, I don't doubt that a dome would at least have an outside feel. And look, from a selfish perspective, as a 41-year-old who doesn't want to sit his ass in 0 degrees, I won't. I wasn't going to go to that Miami playoff game and freeze my ass off, risk losing fingertips. That wasn't going to be me anyway. But at least now I know that if it's 0 degrees outside and the Chiefs are getting ready to play a playoff game at the new stadium, I can comfortably go. I don't have to, that is appealing to not have to freeze my ass off. Gold, Kling wouldn't have to have a heated vest anymore. You don't need 17 hot hands in your gloves. I know that could make it feel like football to you, and for some fans it will. I won't miss that. I've been to the second coldest game, I think, in Chiefs history, and the third coldest game in Chiefs history. So I've been to some that hurt.
I don't think players will miss it necessarily either for that same reason.
That'll be interesting because
Although
again,
it
there's an
depends on the-
advantage in being an outdoor team.
But it also
the
depends
advantage
on
is there, but just in terms of like just being, because I'm sure there's Chiefs players where it's like this sucks. It's not fun to be cold.
Sure.
and
But
outside
also
like
now
this.
we're getting into the real specific stuff. But like, the playing surface, kind of like obviously they've been playing on natural grass forever at
They still
Arrowhead.
do natural
And
grass,
then you look at a lot of these newer places, they can wheel in the turf and all that. I don't know if you can do that in Kansas City or not, but with the weather and everything. But they'll fit, like everything's going to be state of the art. Like I'm not saying that there aren't going to be downsides to a brand new stadium compared to Arrowhead. Of course there will, but there'll be a lot of pros too, though. Let's not act like there won't. But it'll be. No question, state of the art, every bit of technology you could possibly.
They'll finally grade well in the facilities thing in the player grade. Now, I will say, you can call them as meaning as you want. The fact that the owners try to kill it only proved the point that the owners take it. They're very sensitive about it.
Yeah.
And it's led to actual change for some of these teams because it's kind of embarrassing when you get like a D or an F grade from your players. I'm not saying it matters to the winning, but the owners tried to kill it, which meant.
Did they, though? No, like, were they successful?
No,
I don't know.
because the players' union still has enough power to say,
so there you
no,
go.
we wanted
Still
this
got the
thing because we
grades.
want to change.
Yeah.
Grades are still coming for
Those should be coming out soon, right?
Yeah, pretty.
Don't they vote in November on that? Aren't those coming? Those would be coming out in a couple weeks.
I don't know.
Isn't that a January or February thing?
Maybe. Now people are just
remember.
predicting what they want. They want a giant arrowhead from an aerial view. Like what? Laid out in grass? How would you? Wouldn't it just look like a? I mean, I just feel like it would
I
look
think
like
the
an arrow.
stadium is built like an arrowhead.
they're
So
saying,
when they do the aerial shot of the
I'm not-
stadium,
I
it
don't-
looks like an
I
arrowhead.
don't think you can build a stadium in that shape, can you?
It wouldn't work.
I have no
It
idea.
wouldn't work.
It would feel. I got to be honest.
I think it would cost
You know
a lot
what?
of money, though. If,
I'm,
you know, if
I'm
it was somehow
anti
they
that in a
could.
lot of ways. You know what that would feel like? I'm getting on old Sim City, and I just decided to build the new amphitheater. It feels campy.
I mean, the Raider Stadium looks like a Roomba.
It does look like a
from
Roomba.
outside.
If they
up top.
did build, in fairness, Cody, if they did build the stadium that looked like an arrowhead, it would be called New Arrowhead. It would
Well,
absolutely
yeah.
be called that.
Yeah, at least
There'd be no reason
they would
not
say
to.
new Arrowhead the same as like like when we changed brand here. We're the new 96.5 The Fan. We said that for like a year. And then after a year went away, we're just 96.5 The Fan.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a transition, so they're like, we're not disrespecting or besmirching the honor of the original. This is new Arrowhead until eventually they're like, it's Arrowhead.
Mm.
And they just hope you don't notice. You know how that works. It's a gentle slide. that
Coming up
direction.
in about 15 minutes, we'll get to Fan Club Friday, brought to you by Jay Rieger. We'll talk more about the Thursday night game, including what Sean McVay had to say. But first, it is time.
Random question.
Random question today brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. For you, Gold, you, Drew, text line 913-586-7965. And, of course, on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, where we live stream the show 4 hours every single day. I'm going to ask about tonight because I've had multiple people in the text line ask about it and over on YouTube and Twitch as well. So now I'm just curious. Will you at any point even consider, because I'm a 0 out of 10, putting on the Paul Joshua fight?
Oh,
Did you
that's
know?
tonight?
You made a face
I
like
didn't know
you
that was
didn't even
going
know
on.
that was tonight.
That's tonight?
That's
That's
tonight
a thing?
on
Is it
Netflix.
oh, it is that. So it's free if you have.
It is on Netflix.
Okay.
It is free. It is available. It is an actual boxer that Paul is fighting who is, closer to his actual prime versus, I would say, the other fights, including like Mike Tyson and whoever. So I'm just curious. Most of the betting, by the way, public, got money on Paul. So like a huge majority is on the under. He's the underdog for the fight. And most of the betting public is on him. Do you have any interest in watching this fight at all? And you like watching a match every once in a while, right?
Yeah, not when there's a college football
anti-boxing.
playoff game going on tonight.
Oh, you're saying Oklahoma, Alabama.
Now, what time's the fight supposed to start? Is it midnight or
Probably
something?
Like, fights are, late.
If it's the same time as the football game, then absolutely not.
Game is at 7:00 our time.
So maybe both. You can maybe do both.
Yeah, I think you probably could do both.
Mm-hmm.
I would bet that fight doesn't start till 10:30 or 11, don't you? Local? It starts at 9:30.
Okay.
Main event ring walks
So 10
are
o'clock.
expected
10
to begin
o'clock.
at 9:30.
So 10 o'clock. It'll be at the end of the college football playoff game will still be going on.
I guess college football is the only
partially.
sport that's decided not to shorten its game. So it's still 3.5, 4 hours, including pomp and circumstance for those college football playoff games. So you're more likely to watch Alabama, 100% watching Alabama, Oklahoma, no matter what?
Yeah,
or is that like a maybe too?
Oh, I'm watching that tonight. Yeah, I'm watching that. And then the fight, it would have to be about to start, fourth quarter, and one of the Alabama or Oklahoma are in control and the game is over, from the scoreboard perspective. And I would switch over. But otherwise, like even if the game is over and the fight isn't starting until 10:30 because things run late, I don't know the chance of me pulling up Netflix to watch this
Sitting
fight.
in bed.
At least Paul's facing a real boxer. Like he's not facing some 70-year-old. You know, he's not taking on 55-year-old or whatever Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Paul has 13 official fights with 7 knockouts. Joshua, who has got reach and height on him, is 28-4 with 25 knockouts. So quite a bit more. Now, again, I don't think he tends to have not faced anybody in their prime. And I don't know, I can't remember which size gloves mean. It's harder to knock people out, but it says this will be 10-ounce gloves. Does anybody remember what ounce gloves make it? Because you know this, the heavier the glove, the less likely to get like knockouts. Because, you know, a little less fist directly to your face kind of situation. Someone says I stopped watching Jake Paul after he fought Nate Diaz. Nate treated it like a joke the whole time and was tired the next morning for no reason. He said Anthony Joshua could get KO'd. He's got a glass jaw from the 785. He has lost 4 bouts, so it's not a clown. Paul is a clown, further flushing the sweet science of boxing down the word I can't say, say crapper toilet, if that makes it any bit better. I've said this before the last time he fought. It is not a healthy sign for your sport that Jake Paul is your most noticeable fighter. That more people know Jake Paul fights than Anthony Joshua.
Boxing's been a joke for a while.
It feels like this stuff with him also is kind of not necessarily staged, but it feels like there's a level to it that doesn't feel
It feels
legit.
like WWE.
Yeah, it doesn't feel legit.
No fight he's been in felt like he was actually trying to fight his best, and the guy across from him was actually trying. It's all like Gold versus Kevin Hart this weekend. It all feels like not even a real boxing match versus like some of the ones we used to watch. Like I've watched plenty of heavyweight fights with Pacquiao and Mayweather, and going back even further than that, I've watched plenty of big fights where it seemed like 2 guys trying to knock each other out.
Totally.
Not a single one of his fights felt like a real fight.
Yeah, it feels like there's some agreement before the fight anyway
Exactly,
that we're going to let it go X amount of rounds.
Hey, I'm not going to try to really swing at you for 6 rounds. How am I supposed to take it serious if it's just he does wrestling? If I want to watch you in a fake fight, I'll just watch you wrestle.
The only thing with tonight, I wonder if because he's actually taking on a real fighter, is this closer to the real thing than what we've had in some of these other ones where he's taking on Mike Tyson or something crazy. I don't know.
Here's some of his
Or is
fights.
that his brother? I get him confused anyway. I don't know which one took on him.
Logan or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here are some of the fights that Jake Paul's been in. He fought Nate Robinson, remember, like the 5'9" NBA player. He fought the MMA fighter Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz, and Tyron Woodley, all MMA guys. He did a bare knuckle boxing match against some guy I've never heard of called Mike Perry. He most recently fought 58-year-old Mike Tyson. You remember the images that'll be burned in your brain for the rest of time.
Yeah, just walking around bare ass naked.
What the heck? And then he most recently won a fight against 39-year-old Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Okay.
So, like, he hasn't fought anyone real until, I would argue now, I'd still say Anthony Joshua's 36, so, like, he's on the upper end of his boxing career. But at least he was a real contender. You know, like, this was a real boxer who is still not 58, 60 years old like Mike Tyson. So, I don't know. I'm only interested if you tell me that Paul gets knocked out.
I think
I'd like to see him get his ass knocked out.
Yeah.
That's really the only reason we're hate watching these things right now is everybody wants to see Paul, who by all accounts seems like kind of an arrogant jerk, get knocked out. You're like, oh, you're going to fight a real person, but it just feels like it's always rigged. And
He's
Anthony
never going to
Joshua
get knocked out because he's,
Anthony Joshua agreed to a 50% share just as long as he promises not to knock him out before the 9th round. That's the problem.
Feels like that. Yeah, someone with
It always feels like the
Jake
fix is it.
Paul boxes, Logan is the wrestler.
The Pauls, whatever.
Someone says, take the fight to go the full 8 rounds, guys, 3-1.
It's only.
I don't know if I can trust it. How do I know?
Yeah, I feel like I'm betting on a rigged sport, and I don't know who rigged it.
Yeah.
Look, if Gold is the person organizing the fight, he's like, this thing's rigged, it's going 8 rounds, I'll put my money in.
Mm-hmm.
So, Drew, did you answer? Are you watching or no?
I'm absolutely not watching the boxing match. I'm watching college football, and that is it.
But again, they're not related.
No,
you can watch both.
I know, but I'm not. Even if the football game is done by the time that comes up, I'm not doing that.
Drew, do you and Bree watch cheesy holiday movies? You watch like holiday movies? You watch just regular Christmas movies, whatever?
Yeah. We'll watch like the Polar Express. We'll watch the Home Alones. We'll watch the
Every year?
Grinch. Yeah.
Oh man, okay. We just recently tried to get the kids to watch a couple of them. They seem to be getting through them. Is there anything you watch, Gold? Holiday time?
I mean, Home Alone is a classic, so Home Alone will be on at some point in the next week.
Okay. I mean, I know you don't celebrate Christmas. So
Yeah,
depends
Home Alone or something.
Home Alone doesn't inherently feel like a Christmas movie. It just takes place during, it's not about Christmas.
I think it fits the
same.
Christmas.
It definitely is a Christmas movie. I'm not saying that. But versus others, like the Polar Express, that just feels like all Christmas.
For sure.
Yeah,
Home Alone's got some other elements. The Grinch is all Christmas.
Yeah. Elf is great.
Yep.
Classic.
Elf, yep.
Yeah.
Elf is a classic.
I didn't know. You didn't know any Christmas carols. I didn't know if.
Well, I know them. I don't sing them openly, but I've heard
thought- I thought when you and Nick
I've
got
heard
into
of
it, is that
jingle.
you
I've heard
didn't
of
know
yeah.
the
He was
lyrics.
asking me to sing the song, and I said I'm not singing the song.
Oh, I
Cody,
thought
do
didn't know
you
the
sing
words.
Christmas carols?
Not currently. When would I?
Well, that's
I don't
that's
know.
basically the same answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Have I heard Jingle Bells before?
Do you know the words?
Some of them, I think.
Okay, that's what I thought was originally happening.
Yeah.
Do you know the words? I know all the words. I like to listen to Christmas music sometimes. I'm not anti it. It's a very limited window of time for me.
The first snow is when I always, or whenever I'm putting stuff, whenever we're putting stuff up in the apartment or whatever, is definitely like a Christmas music.
I put on my Run DMC
Time
Christmas
period.
record while I was making cookies the other day. Not even kidding.
Text line says they watch a Chiefs love story touchdown, a Hallmark movie with their favorite actor. Yeah, that's true. That's on that. That is one that I watch every year now. I need to watch it again this year.
Does feel like for your 4 seconds.
Yeah,
Do we determine the amount of time?
Cody, please,
Two?
please. I got 2
Sorry.
seconds. I
Sorry.
mean, 2 seconds walking down the sidewalk, and then my car was visible for maybe another 2 seconds. That
Car
was,
got as much billing
definitely. Yeah, no
and
question.
an extra paycheck.
Up next, we'll get to a Fan Club Friday, brought to you by Jay Rieger. And then let's talk about Thursday Night Football a little bit. Great game, what it means for Sam Darnold moving forward, and a 2-point conversion I don't think any of us have ever seen before. That's next.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Chris Jones. You're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Must be 21 plus if physically present in Missouri. Open to new users only. Minimum odds, -500. Awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Choosing the best doctor for your eyes is one of the most important medical decisions you'll ever make. Whether you're considering blade-free LASIK, all laser cataract surgery, and premium lens implants, or want a world-renowned doctor to help with your glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, or diabetes, trust my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein. Call Silverstein Eye Centers to make an appointment, 816-358-3600. Experience the best eye care in Kansas City.
When cold weather hits, the last thing you want is a heating system that fails. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter for an $89 heating system tune-up. Keeping your system running at peak efficiency can help prevent costly breakdowns, lower energy bills, and ensure your system is ready when temperatures drop. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
We love entertaining during the holidays, but we also love spending time with friends and family. That's why we're letting Hy-Vee do everything, because Hy-Vee has convenient pre-made holiday meal packs for any size gathering. Made fresh and ready-to-heat menu favorites like succulent turkey, honey-glazed spiral ham, or prime rib, plus savory sides, rolls, and a choice of dessert. And don't forget the wine and spirits department. So pick up your meal the day before the holiday and then just heat and serve on the big day. This holiday season, let Hy-Vee do the cooking while you take the credit, only at Hy-Vee.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Looking to drive your finances downfield? Main Street Credit Union is the hometown team you can trust. We help you build credit, lower monthly expenses, and finance with confidence. Or if you need a loan to grow your small business, we've got flexible options and no hidden fees. At Main Street, it's not just about the win, it's about keeping Kansas City moving forward. One goal, 1 yard, one member at a time. Get in the game at mainstreetcu.org.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
So, your small business is outgrowing your garage. You could go online, find a space, and get catfished. Or you could work with an agent who's a realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Nick Bolton. Tune in on game days to hear the play-by-play with Mitch, Danon, and Clean on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. Welcome into the Fan Club.
Step 1, we buy into this club. Step 2, we roll over to the club, either in your Mercedes-Benz or my pre-owned Acura Legend.
It's not as much as a club as it is a couple middle-aged dudes in sweatshirts talking about sports.
Bounce, 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 bounce. Now all the ladies saying bounce, 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 bounce.
But you get the gist. Here's Cody Tapp and Alex Gold.
It is a Fan Club Friday here on Cody and Gold, brought to you by Jay Rieger & Co. All right, what is the cocktail today?
Gingerbread Old Fashioned. So gingerbread syrup, whiskey, orange bitters, and then of course it's made with Rieger's holiday whiskey. I do like the bottle. Just feels very Kansas
Their
City.
packaging is always great.
It's
This one
excellent.
in particular is really good for the holiday time. The labeling's really nice.
This is the 2025. This is this year's edition.
Have you had a sip yet?
I have not.
Take a sip. It definitely is. It is the perfect drink for right around the holidays. Now it's a little warmer outside. If it was colder, I'd say it's completely spot on. Because you got a little bit of that gingerbread, cinnamony kind of flavor to it that gets you. You can feel it in the throat a little bit when you mix in the.
I feel like if you
whiskey.
had a little bit of little congested, you're like, you know what, just like I want to drink a toddy, or I want to have a gingerbread old fashioned.
Yes. Is this something that you actually when you guys have been sick, have you actually tried to make something like this, or do you just resort to the regular old medicine?
I mean, non-alcoholic. I'll get a medicine ball from Starbucks, which is like honey citrus or honey
medicine ball last night at home.
Did you? You made one, yeah. So and that's it's got a honey citrus mint tea, basically, is what the Starbucks version of it is. But as far if you're have I poured myself whiskey on the rocks to feel better? I haven't, but I know people have. Cody, I think, has talked about it before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not anti it. Hot toddy, maybe, Drew?
Yeah. Hottie toddy, yeah.
You can drink a hot toddy, and you can do all kinds of liquors. Like with hot toddy, for like you could use like Rieger whiskey, or people do gin toddies or tequila, all kinds of different stuff.
So that's what we're drinking for the next hour here during a Fan Club Friday. We'll get to some game predictions later on in the hour as well. Video stream up and running here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X. Make sure you subscribe. You don't miss any of the shows. I know a lot of people listen in the office. I do feel like, Cody, for some people, depending on what they do for a living, today's a lot of people, they're checking out after today.
Nobody's working those last couple of days anyway. Come on. You got a regular office job.
We're getting after it though on Monday. We're still grinding through it though.
No, we're still.
Nobody else is.
But I mean, going into a holiday week where Christmas lands on a Thursday, well then you got to do the Christmas stuff on Wednesday. Then it's like Monday, Tuesday. It's like it just bleeds in. Plus, you just got like a million things to do. My daughter's got like 2 different parties she has to go to tomorrow or something. I had to take her like 4. She has like regular dance and her dance party, and then some friend hand wrote her an invitation that said winter party. And I had to text the parent to be like, hey, is this a real invitation, or is this just like kids inviting each other to stuff that, didn't? She said, yeah, exactly. So it's like all kinds of stuff like that. There's just things to do. Are you done with your shopping at least?
I need to go get like 2 more gift cards, so I'm basically done. I just need 2 gift cards.
That's nothing.
Yeah. I need to pick up 2 gift cards. One is at a restaurant, I think, and one is like, Pottery Barn Kids. Like,
Pottery Barn's, the youngest kid.
He's getting that carpet for
no, not for the youngest.
Whatever story it was the other day.
I can say it now because my sister put it on her Facebook. My twin sister, her and her husband are expecting, so I'm gonna have a niece. I've got 3 nephews. I'm gonna have a niece.
The niece in utero a present? Is that what I'm to understand? Or are you getting this for your sister?
Yeah, come on.
I'm asking
for their parents, for my twin sister and her husband to go and get whatever they need for.
I didn't know if you were counting that as like an in utero present or not.
That is going to be Pottery Barn Kids will be a gift towards my twin sister and her husband, so they can do whatever they need to do to get ready for their first child.
Tiny piece, tiny thing that I think adds an element to this.
All right,
when you give them the pottery, get like a onesie or something, man. Get them a little cute outfit.
In addition to the gift card,
Drew, come on, back me up.
When
you give them,
I got to get 2 gifts now.
No, come on, it's like $8, $10, $12, depending. Like, get like a cute little onesie thing that's like age 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. On top of
it feels more like a present, more than just the gift card.
It's just like slightly more personal. Nothing crazy, but just slightly more personal.
All right.
And get like a little onesie or a little shirt. The kid will be born in June, so it can be short sleeve if you want it to be.
I do understand the urge though for like where like a newborn so I don't have none of my brothers.
You don't
and
have it.
sisters,
You're not an uncle yet.
No, I am not an uncle yet in any capacity. It feels like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you guys have felt like this, but I wonder if getting, if my sister found out she was pregnant, it's kind of like a registry essentially where, what do you need? Let me get you this. Or let me just give you a gift card so you can get what you need, as opposed to actually making...
there'll be plenty of other stuff. By the time we get to June, there'll be plenty of other stuff.
Yeah, there'll be a normal baby shower and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I meant. Is it feels like that sort of a thing.
It's a nice personal touch. Just
it's not a bad idea. I don't hate that. It's not a bad idea. In addition,
not diapers or any of the stuff I got to store forever. Just a onesie.
Yeah, something that's more and more popular than ever. You mentioned the baby shower, but one of my good friends did this when they had their child. The diaper keg parties are more and more popular than ever. I feel like. I don't know if that's something that we're going to be doing or not. I got to talk to my other brother-in-law and see if we want to do something like that.
I hosted one for the first time, and I made it all casino. So I was the house, and we did blackjack and poker, and we just played all kinds of table games and stuff. I essentially, and the way I did it, Gold, is you bought $100 worth of chips, and I gave you $80 back, and I put all the 20s together for a gift card. So here's a Target gift card, so you can go buy all the baby stuff. Well, you could still win the $20 back. You got 80 in chips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
nothing stopping you from taking it to the tables and getting that cash back.
Yeah,
you could still win it back. Nobody was keeping the 20 from me forever.
Well, thinking of did you see? Are you going to actually buy a Powerball tomorrow?
It's just big enough. I got to do it. So if I'm not here on Monday, you know why.
Powerball Saturday. Nobody has won. So let me get the latest number. Let's see. Powerball is now up to, what is it? 1.5. Yeah, $1.5 billion, man. Cash value $689.3 million.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I won't.
Is that enough? Is that enough?
If I win $700 million, I will not be here on Monday. I got to work out some stuff.
You won't. See, I think
you'd be too on to me.
Well, nobody would actually believe that you won. But at the same time, no, I've told you, if you were fortunate enough to win, I think You act like nothing's going on for weeks and weeks until you get all your ducks in a row. And then
I'd be a terrible employee. Be the only thing on my mind.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't sleep. Your mind would be racing. You wouldn't be able to sleep for days.
Just be thinking about that $600 million.
Yeah.
All the time.
Someone says, I know the winning numbers. Don't waste your time. I'll buy probably $10 worth of tickets. Is probably what'll happen between now and tomorrow night. The drawing's tomorrow night.
I'm sure we discussed this. What would your first thing be that you would get if you won? I think we've talked about it before, but would you get a car?
Are we talking
would you invent? Would you just put it away?
Well, once you get everything sorted out, like eventually, I guess a house would be the answer. But like, you're not. I mean, I don't like. There'd be a bunch of other stuff you got to get in order before you do that. But
if we're just talking like frivolous purchase, it's probably a different conversation.
Yeah.
Most people are going to pay off debts, house, car. If you're taking it off of the non-standard answer, I think it would just be like I'd just be on a trip. I would just be planning like whatever vacation I'm taking as soon as summer hits for my kids. Be like, we're going somewhere cool. Like we're heading out. Like we just won't be home for a month.
We're doing a tour of Europe or something like that. Yeah.
From the 816 terrible employee sounds normal, Cody. All right, easy there. I show up. I'm on time. I do my job. You might not like the style of host I am, but I do my job. That's different.
You go out of your way. You even sing songs.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Someone
said they texted Carrington yesterday, too, about the conversation that we had yesterday.
Oh,
and they got no response.
No
Crickets,
response?
huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he knows. He knows the situation.
It's probably the shame.
Let's talk about last night a little bit, Thursday Night Football. It really was one of the best Thursday night games we've had in a long time. And there was a lot of hype for it, and it lived up to it. Huge NFC West showdown, number one seed implications for the Rams and Seahawks. And then for a bit, I did not watch the first half, but I caught the second half. And in the second half, it looked like the Rams were just running away with it. Like, oh, this is going to be a crappy fourth quarter. And there was a huge swing on the Rashid Shaheed punt return touchdown, and that flipped the entire game. And then we of course, saw, even with Puka going off for 200-plus yards, Sam Darnold, when he had to have it, when he had to have a key drive, to his credit, he stepped up because it was looking like it was trending towards last year where, oh, no, final couple weeks of the season,
and then
he's going to
Stafford
stink.
got the touchdown in overtime, and you're like, oh, boy. They're going to have to go all the way down the field after this comeback. It's not going to happen. Darnold changed some opinions last night because, as you remember, the last 3-4 games last year, he stunk.
Yes.
He fell apart. The team fell apart. They got to the postseason, and he looked like a scared child in the pocket, making mistake after mistake. In the first game against the Rams this year, he threw 4 picks and blew the game for him. So it just felt like it was all trending downward. So for him to make that, it's like, okay, he can still stand up for himself and have a big-time moment in a big-time game. I think that 2-point overturn was egregiously bad. And I do not blame Sean McVay. It's so stupid. Yeah. Is it technically, by the absolute letter of the law, the correct and accurate call? Yeah. They blew the whistle, and no one was moving. I think if you blow the whistle, you just can't. If the play stops moving, how am I to know to pick up the football? That guy wasn't even trying to pick it up because he thought it was a loose ball, Gold. He was just picking it up because it was by his feet.
Yeah, that's the weird. It was the right call, but I know the argument is, well, the ball was still moving, so the play wasn't dead. But was it Charbonnet, I think, or when that picked it up? I think it was Charbonnet. Was he picking up thinking he scored, or was he just picking it up because the ball was just there? Like that was the
physically there.
Yeah, he just said, the ball's here. I was picking it up, frustrated, whatever. I don't know what the solution is necessarily. Is there like a time limit on the play? I thought basically it is if the ball is still a live ball moving and it's not stopped, then technically you can just still go pick it up. This is why all the time when there's a pass that looks incomplete, the defender tries to pick it up just in case it's ruled a fumble.
But I think Sean McVay was right. Like in his post game when he was talking about it, he's like, I've just never seen anything like it. He's like, we were already setting up to go do the kickoff. Like units were coming on the field. And they're like, whoa, hold on. We think this might actually be a 2-point. Give us a second.
TV broadcast was all over it though, and it's not. It's rare.
They saw it immediately.
It's rare that was it Terry McCauley or whoever any of these replay from the booth former officials are. It's rare that they're right, but he was all over it immediately. He's like, guys, I think this might need a look. This is a live ball. It's a backwards pass. He was all over it before on field made the announcement that the play was under review. That was what was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I'm glad they got it right, but this goes back to what we talked about yesterday. Now we find out that Skycam has at least screwed up a couple of different calls this year where they're having to quietly apologize because they don't want to admit that the sky judge overturned something they shouldn't. And then this one, it's just like spirit of the rule feels like it should matter too. Because if it's letter of the law, then I don't even know how many flags we'd have in an individual football game, right? If every time I physically make contact with a player past 5 yards, not disrupt their flow, just physically make contact, we're going to throw a flag. Well, there'll never stop being flags. The spirit of the rule, that failed. That 2-point failed. We all watched it fail. The ball was on the ground. They threw an incomplete pass. It did not work. And it changed, probably did change. The number 1 seed in the NFC. It didn't just change. It had massive earthquake-like level rebound into the rest of the league. It's crazy.
It did, no doubt. Now, I'll point out, and it definitely was a huge shift, but there was still at that time 3 minutes plus on the clock on that initial 2-point conversion. And so there was still, but yes, it was a weird call. I've never seen that. I've never seen that before. None of us have.
Is this something like, it's not just, and I think I mentioned it even in one of the videos that I did during the Chiefs game, because there were obviously some missed calls on that one. It feels like and maybe it's just because we've got the Sky Judge and we see more replay than now, but over the last couple of years, but this year in particular, it feels like there have been more missed calls, and whether they're genuine or like whether they're genuinely missed or they go to replay and they make their own decision or whatever the case is, it feels like we're talking more this season, not just even about Chiefs games, but just in general about mistakes that the officials are making, too many penalties being called, the reviews that we have. I don't know if that just goes along with how much access we have now to replay or whatnot, but it feels like this year in particular, we are talking about the officiating just being bad in general way more often. It seems like week in and week out, there's something that was missed where it doesn't make any sense how it was called the way it was.
It's never been worse. Officiating hasn't. And yeah, over the years, it's been because of the replay angles and HD TV and all that. But that's been going on for a while. I think this year, just officiating has been really, really bad. And when we think about, on the Chiefs end of it, in the past, it's always been, people specifically saying it's geared for Kansas City. This year, people don't even have like that angle. I mean, imagine if that 2-point conversion would have happened and it was the Chiefs that got the benefit. I mean, it would be all over. Like today, people are talking about it, but it's not like the big headline on Pro Football Talk or ESPN.com. If that was a play and they did the exact same thing and it helped the Chiefs clinch a 1 seed or at least get close to a 1 seed,
clinch a division, whatever.
Oh my goodness, it would. I mean, you'd never hear the end of it.
I just feel like we've gone all this way to like have technology and make it good and fix it, and it's just not quite right yet. And because of that, we're still getting calls wrong. And this one is just one of those like spirit of the rule ones. Again, if you whistle it, you know what I'm supposed to do? By the way, if I let's say they whistle a goal and the guy who picks up on the goal line, I blast him as a defensive player. Gold. Drew, I blow him up.
Yeah.
I'm getting penalized. Like they're gonna kill me. Right? They're gonna give me a penalty. They're gonna eject me from the game. I'm not even allowed to touch the guy, so he can recover a fumble and just stand there holding the ball like a loaf of bread. But I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna let the 2 points stand. And by the way the game should have been called, you got to just let that one die. I understand. And again, kudos to Sam Darnold. He had a big time moment last night. I don't want anyone to take that away. He had a couple of big time moments in that game last night that helped his team win the game and secure a chance to get the 1 seed, but still.
Yeah, this is the tough spot the league has put themselves in, though, because we know replay was this huge innovative thing. We're trying to get stuff right. Obviously, we have different angles than we've ever had. And now, you've gotten to the point where it's the whole spirit of the rule and spirit of replay. And this happens in baseball, too. We mention this all the time. When they're trying to review whether a guy was safe on second or not, the replay review was never intended, if a guy's foot popped off the bag for a half a second. No, was he there first or not? And now it's become, well, no, actually, the heel of his foot, there might be one cleat that was not on the base anymore. Stuff like that. This is not just an NFL problem. The NFL's king, so it gets more attention. But replay, has it gone too far? I don't think there's any putting the toothpaste back in the tube, though. So I don't really know what the solution is other than what we've discussed, which is the refs have to be better. Yeah. Full-time officials and more training. And I know the league has slowly tried, but they got to go all in. And they got to put some pressure on the ref union because, remember, aren't they coming up with a new
the CBA
coming up this summer?
They are.
Which is where the NFL, like they wanted certain things to be, like they wanted more access to film or whatever to watch, and some of the other things that obviously if they just made him full time.
Two things. Go ahead. Once, for starters, we're obviously in Fan Club, brought to you by Jay Rieger. In the next segment, we'll have a chance for you to win a pair of tickets to Le Grand Masquerade, their masquerade ball for New Year's Eve. Obviously, the tickets go for a couple $100 or $150 a piece. Love to give somebody, a listener, a chance to win it in the next segment. So stay tuned about 10 minutes from now. But also, Travis Kelce is speaking to the media out there and was asked about his future. Gold, would you like to hear his quote?
Yes.
Quote, I'd rather keep the focus on this team right now. All the conversations I have had with the team moving forward will be with them. It's a unique time in my life. I've got 3 games left, and I know when the season ends. End quote.
Him saying I've got 3 games
Taylor
left
over ESPN.
Him saying I got 3 games left feels
He's done,
like
guys. He's done. He's done. I hope he has an amazing
culmination
3
of it.
games, but this is it. I mean, we all thought this was trending that way anyway, and then you couple with his podcast comments and then that quote you just read, Cody. This is it. It sucks. It's been an unbelievable, unbelievable career. An all-time Chief, a first ballot Hall of Famer. I hope for his sake he reaches a couple of these milestones that he can still hit in the final 3 weeks. And that game at Arrowhead on Christmas should be almost viewed as a celebration of his career. I don't know if the Chiefs, he's not going to probably allow it to be that. And certainly, I don't think the Chiefs are going to do a special ceremony. But like fans
Christmas
should,
Day is going to be his last game as a Chief.
when they walk into Arrowhead,
or last game as a Chief at Arrowhead.
that should be the vibe that you have. I'm sure there'll be signs and stuff like that. It should be almost like a thank you type of game from fans towards Travis Kelce coming up on Christmas.
It also explains why he wouldn't just shut it down for the rest of the season, instead play like these are his final chances to play on an NFL football field. I understand he said that it's about the commitment, and I committed to play football and I'm going to play the rest of the way. But I mean, he just continuously, every quote that comes out from him sounds like a guy who's ready to not play football anymore. That's all.
Sure. Oh, yeah. I don't know how anybody can, at this point, read any other way with what he said. I think it's very obvious that Travis Kelce knew when this season. I know before the season he was asked, and he's like, "Well, I we'll worry about that. See how the season goes." I think he knew when this season. Like, if we ever get like true serum, 5 years from now, I think he knew heading into the season this was it.
I still don't rule out the
towards
week 10 next year. Travis calls him in bags, but that's about it.
And that's a fun storyline. Hopefully the Chiefs are doing well enough, and we can have that conversation in the middle of next year. Like, can you imagine if he comes back? I think this was always going to be the end result this year. It's happening much quicker because the team has been eliminated from the postseason. If they were still alive for the postseason, Travis would not have, addressed it the way I think he just did.
No, he continues to say, "I know when the season ends." Yeah, I'll talk to the team about it. He's not saying I haven't made up my mind and I'm going to make up my mind at the end because that would be the easy answer. I have made a determination about my future. That's something I'm going to really look at and think about when the season ends. I don't know where my career is headed. We'll see. Instead, he's saying, I'll talk to the team. Those conversations are between them and I, which means the same as, remember this happened with Andy. Andy knew before. What player was it? Oh, I'm never going to remember now. We found out that maybe it was the Royals. We found Alex Gordon. We found out Dayton Moore knew in May that Alex Gordon was going to retire. He told him forever. He knew forever, Gold, that Alex Gordon was walking away from football or from baseball. Tell me it can't be the same with Andy. Week 8 or 9 or 10, Travis, maybe before the season, Travis told him, "Hey, man, this is it for me. This is the last season.
I would think
this
so.
Is it for me." And he told Veach, right, because he wants to leave the organization in a good place. Didn't want to ever put them, I'd be more surprised he came back than to find out he the entire season had informed the closest people in his world. Taylor, Patrick, Andy, the people who matter.
Yeah,
this was it.
Someone texted in, said, I don't think he's going to end his incredible career in this fashion. He's coming back. Look, I think we've talked about this. It's very rare that an athlete at this level gets to ride off from the sunset. Like, that's the dream. Peyton Manning got to do it. He's one of the rare ones. Last year, that was why we had the conversation. If the Chiefs would have three-peated, we were all like, oh, does that make it easier to retire or harder? Remember, that was the whole conversation heading in the Super Bowl. If the Chiefs would have beat the Eagles and three-peated, that's the ultimate ride-off in the sunset. And we all debated whether that you would try to go for 4 at that point or no, just end. You never usually get to end when you want to end your career on a winning note, right? In the ultimate high. And I don't think coming back next year guarantees that you're going to end it the way you want to end it either.
No.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't.
I think especially, too, because
by no means does it guarantee.
I think when you guys were talking to Nate earlier in the week, I think it was, or maybe it was even Dane yesterday, but about Travis's the buildup of the season from the standpoint of I'm going to give everything I have to get
played it like
ready
a guy.
to go. Like like even if he came back,
one last ride.
Let's say he's like, you know what, I'm going to come back again. Just thinking of the process of doing all of that over again and getting ready for the season. And he's been healthy pretty much the entire season, which
He's
has
had a good year.
Obviously been great. But for him to just want to do that again, I don't know if, not necessarily he wouldn't be able to, but just the amount of mental focus and all of the stuff that it would take and the discipline and all of that to do it again and then hope that things end up a little bit better next season. I just think it's difficult to do, especially at that age.
All right, up next, earlier today, we had our conversation with Royals general manager J.J. Picollo. A lot of moves happening, including today, the Royals trading for Matt Straub. We know they signed Michael Garcia to an extension earlier in the week. Plus, what other moves could be on the horizon? That was our conversation we had with J.J. Picollo. You want to hear what he had to say about maybe a future extension for another Royal next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan and the other place, especially with these great game day specials. 8 wings and a basket of tots for $12 plus $4 domestic OP cups. The other place, the next best thing to being at the game.
The year-end sales event is going on right now at Shawnee Mission Ford. Whether you're looking for that beautiful new Ford F-150, I've been driving that truck for the last couple of weeks. It's perfect during the cold winter months, not only if you need to get on the job site, the zone lighting to make sure that you're feeling pretty safe when you're going to a dark area, or you just need the lighting for camping, whatever it may be, heated seats, heated steering wheel. It's been awesome to drive around. But the year-end sales event makes it really easy for you over at Shawnee Mission Ford because there's 0% financing going on right now on new 25 Escapes, Explorers, those F-150s, Transit vans, Super Duty, you name it, plus 90 days till your first payment. And now, till the end of the year, you'll receive an additional $1,000 rebate. So that's 0% for 60 months, 90 days till the first payment, 90 days of Blue Cruise as hands-free driving, plus the $1,000 rebate till the end of the year over at Shawnee Mission Ford. They're on a mission to do more.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. Your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Missouri. You can get in on all the action with fast withdrawals, a safe and secure app, and betting that's easy to use anywhere you go. And the best part, DraftKings keeps the excitement going with awesome promos and offers all season long. That's why it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't wait. New customers sign up today. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go, Missouri. Get in the game.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 965. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 965 in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Zero, like in 0% financing. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. The 2025 Subaru Share the Love event. Subaru will donate $250 to a charity of your choice to help those in need this holiday.
And locally, you can choose Hillcrest Transitional Housing. Lee Summit Subaru will also donate $50. Subaru of America will donate $250 per vehicle sold or leased during the promotional period, and store contribution may be combined with Subaru of America donation.
Hello, Kansas City. Christopher Youngers here with Cafe Trio. The seasons, they are changing. And if you haven't seen Cafe Trio during the holidays, from Halloween, the Plaza Lights, and Christmas with all of our decorations, well, then you've missed out on one of the most seasonally spectacular dining experiences in town. Offering live music, very spirited holiday decorations, and farm-to-table fresh menus, Cafe Trio is the place to be for the holidays. 45th and Main, CafeTrioKC.com.
Play Kansas Lottery's holiday scratch tickets for a chance to win up to $100,000 instantly. Enter tickets into Play On for a chance to win bonus drawings. See KSLottery.com.
Game day headquarters is at Dave & Buster's, the ultimate watch destination. 30-plus screens, including jaw-dropping 40-foot TVs, will put you in the center of the action. Join Cody Tapp with 96.5 The Fan this Sunday, December 21st, from noon to 2 p.m. at Dave & Buster's, 1843 Village West Parkway off I-435 and I-70 in Kansas City. Enjoy half-price games Sunday through Thursdays. No purchase necessary. Cheer on KC at Dave & Buster's, where every game is a big game.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable scent boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness, so you can smell unstoppable.
FanDuel Friday is turning it up with an NBA happy hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. FanDuel is dropping limited time specials to get you in the zone. Boost, bonus, surprises, all designed to give you that Friday energy. This isn't just another promo. It's your weekly pregame NBA happy hour every Friday, 6 to 7:30 Eastern, only on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. So visit FanDuel.com/KFNZ. Use my promo code to grab your reward before the clock expires. Celebrate the beginning of the NBA season in style. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of the NBA and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expirations, league requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement. Kansas Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Here's something most doctors know that most men never talk about. Stress from work, money, and family doesn't disappear at night. It can follow you into the bedroom, and suddenly your mind won't let your body do what it used to do naturally. For moments like that, doctors often look for treatments that help both the brain and the body. That's where Rugiet Ready comes in. Unlike those other popular brands, Rugiet Ready is a next-generation drug that helps prime your brain for arousal and increase blood flow. It uses 3 C ingredients in 1 mint that dissolves under your tongue so it absorbs fast. Most men are ready in about 15 minutes on average. Over 150,000 men have already tried Rugiet. A doctor reviews your health online, and if it's appropriate, the prescription ships discreetly to your door. Visit Rugiet.com/sports to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com/sports. Individual results may vary. Rugiet Ready is a compounded prescription that is not FDA approved. Visit Rugiet.com for full safety information.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's country song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Back here on a Fan Club Friday brought to you by Jay Rieger & Co. As Cody mentioned, over at Jay Rieger, they got one of the cool events they do each and every year, the Masquerade Ball, the New Year's Eve costume ball presented by Hellsberg. And we've got a pair of tickets to this awesome event. It's going to take place, obviously, New Year's Eve, December 31st. Starts at 8, goes till 1 a.m., 3 open bars, French-inspired bites from the Jay Rieger and Co. culinary team, a grazing table, entertainment, DJ, you name it. Awesome time. We'll take caller number 5. You'll get a pair of tickets to the New Year's Eve costume ball, thanks to Jay Rieger & Co. 913-586-7965. Caller number 5, 913-586-7965. Earlier today, JJ Picollo, Royals general manager, joined us. A lot of moves happening, including the trade today for Matt Strahm. We started our conversation asking him why they brought back the former Royal.
Well, first of all, we're really excited to have Matt back in a Royals uniform. I mean, we obviously have a long history with him, have known him since he was in junior college, and he's gone on to do great things in the major leagues. And really over the last 3 seasons, he's been one of the best left-handed relievers in the game. So when there was an opportunity to acquire Matt, we certainly were interested in Matt even prior to our trade last week, where we sent Zerpa one of our left-handed relievers to Milwaukee, but that hole became even greater. So we immediately started turning a little bit and trying to set our sights on some of the left-handed relievers that were available in the game. And, Matt's a good one. So it certainly gives us somebody in the back end of our bullpen to throw the 7th, 8th, and times the 9th inning to match up against good left-handed hitters that every bullpen needs.
Where do you view Nick Mears, I guess, amongst those bullpen guys? Because when you mentioned 7, 8, 9, we know who have been in 8 and 9 over the last couple of years. So where does Mears kind of fit into the, the bullpen mix?
Yeah, one of the, I would say, more under the radar, difficult things to do in the game is to get from the 6th to the 8th inning somehow. So those guys that you can bring in the 6th inning, whether you're 1 down, 1 up, whatever the score may be in a close game, those guys that can manage and navigate the 6th inning and into the 7th and maybe get you 2 outs in the 7th, they're extremely valuable in the game. And they're almost like offensive linemen. Nobody really knows who they are. They're on every team, but the ones that do it well really stand out. And Nick has done that in his career. And we think he's, one of a few that can do that for us now. And it also helps us manage our bullpen. When guys you start going to the well night after night with the same guys, it takes its toll on players. But now that you have a couple guys like Schreiber and Mears that have taken the ball and have had a lot of appearances in a season, it's a little bit easier to navigate over 162 games.
When it comes to these trades, obviously you as a team are always going to be like, well, we got the better end of that deal. Otherwise, you're not really making it, or at the very least, you thought you got an even value on the deal. I looked at it. I thought you guys had gotten more talent back than you had given away, or better talent back than you had given away. Do you think that some of that was possible because you guys took on essentially an additional $6, $7, $8 million in salary as a part of these moves as well, not just the trade of the players?
Yeah, I think that is certainly part of it. That's not something I really know for a fact. You just look at the resume of Matt Strahm. It tells you that, relievers that are making $7.5 million are pretty good relievers. So I think that certainly had something to do with it. I don't know what's happening with the other club and what their calculus may be right now. All we know is who they asked for. And we value John Boland. He's 29 years old, but he was really starting to project in our bullpen very well. So we're not surprised by the ask. It's not a household name, but it is somebody that I can tell you, like Brian Sweeney, our pitching coach, was a little disappointed, that we were trading him. But at the same time, you're filling a bigger hole with Matt, and it comes at a cost. In this case, it's probably a little bit more salary than necessarily, talent for talent.
We're talking to JJ Picollo here on 96.5 The Fan. While we're talking about the acquisitions, let's stick there, and then we can get into Michael Garcia and his extension, of course, to stay in Kansas City for years to come. Isaac Collins, maybe not a household name for people in Kansas City, but you go back and look, perhaps a late bloomer, but he was the NL Rookie of the Month back in August. What do you guys see in him, and how do you right now, knowing you're not even in spring training yet, where do you maybe see him fitting in?
Well, Isaac had a really good rookie year last year. I think he finished 4th in the National League Rookie of the Year voting. But when you look at his skill set, it represents something that we need more of. His real skill is to get on base. He's one of the most selective hitters in the game, both right-handed and left-handed. His walk rates are high. That's something we've been trying to acquire for a couple of years now. It's something, whether it's via the draft, developing it, trading for it, whatever it is. So Isaac really stood out to us because of that skill. But then you throw in his positional versatility, the speed component on the bases. He's what our identity is. Athleticism, play good defense, run the bases well. He does those things. And the other thing that he will do for us now that we've been, I'll say, looking for a few years is a switch hitter. When you have a switch hitter that's good from both sides of the plate, it's a weapon. It helps you manage games better. It helps you, sort of punch and counter punch when you're going through the game. So I think Q's really going to be able to utilize the switch hit ability of Collins in a way that maybe isn't talked about a whole lot, but it's certainly a lot of our discussions going into games night in, night out.
It's far too early for it, but because of that on-base component, and that felt like it was a part of the India trade, and then eventually what led Michael to be there, would you guys look at Collins at the top of the order?
Yeah, I think that'll play out. I've been asked that a couple times, and to be very honest, we haven't had a chance to really look at lineups just yet.
Sure.
So, we don't know what else this offseason brings, but he's hit all over the lineup for the Brewers last year, down the stretch. He was mostly in the middle, which I find very interesting. But that's kind of how that team was built. Looking at the on base, you certainly could see him, hitting in the leadoff spot. The fact that he's a switch hitter, you don't have to worry night to night. If he settles in as leadoff hitter, that's great. But also part of our goal this offseason is to lengthen our lineup out. So if he's hitting in spots more similar to what he did with Milwaukee, that's a good thing too, because we want to be tougher in the bottom of our lineup to get the top of the lineup back up again. We want to get Bobby and Michael and Vinny back up again. So I think regardless of where it settles, we can consider him in any spot in the lineup.
We're talking to JJ Picollo here on 96.5 The Fan. I know it's only December 19th, so it is very early, as you were hinting at there. And I know you guys are always going to look at potential moves anyway to make your organization better, to make your big league club better. Are you guys still looking for additional outfield help at this point?
Well, I think if we were able to improve our club, it's certainly something we want to do. That going back to the Collins acquisition, I think that allowed us to think freely about adding whatever it is to our club that we can because of his versatility. And then when you throw in Michael Massey's versatility, Nick Lofton's versatility, Tyler Tolbert's versatility, all of those players here are meaningful players to us. But the fact that we have another one that can go, dirt to grass, playing infield, outfield, or outfield, infield, however you look at it, gives us the ability to at least explore and keep talking. I will say we've been engaged in a lot of different interesting conversations. You got to get creative in trying to execute these things when it's all said and done. But, more than anything with Collins and Lane Thomas, we feel like the athleticism, the versatility, track record is there, that we've raised the floor of our outfield. And then when you factor in, what's Carter Jensen going to do? What's Cags going to do next year? It's got a chance to be a pretty good offense if some of those younger guys, capture some everyday at-bats. And that would be a wonderful thing for us as well.
I want to ask about Cags in just a minute, but you had hinted at something about all these interesting conversations. I was reading, JJ, and you're a GM, so I can ask you that around the league, the sentiment seems to be teams are far less interested at this particular moment in prospects and far more interested in trading major league players for major league players. Are you seeing that as being a higher level than normal this season? And I guess, is there a reason why you think that might be the case?
It does seem to be the case. And, and I'm going to speculate a little bit here, but it may just simply be because more teams are in the playoff race when it comes to trade deadline. We have expanded playoffs. So teams are more optimistic that we can make a run into the trade deadline. If we're still in it, we'll continue to acquire. If we're out of it at that point, then maybe we would trade. But it does seem to have that flavor this year. There are certain teams that are clearly building and are more prospect-driven, but it does seem like there's more teams that are, more of the mindset that we can make the playoffs next year. So it is a lot of major league for major league, which I think is a healthy thing for our game. I think our fans enjoy that because the names are more identifiable. You have track records. You can look at highlights on them and feel good about how that player helps whatever team you root for.
What changes, if any, do you think Cags might make this offseason? Just knowing that the season didn't go the way that he wanted or didn't finish the way that he wanted. Are you looking for certain things tangible for him as far as this offseason goes to have a better 2026?
Well, I had a chance to talk to him the other day, and exactly what he's working on is what we feel like he needs to work on, and that's pitch selection. We got to keep in mind too. This guy was in college in 2024, so things have happened really fast for him, and he crushed the minor leagues, and now he's in the major leagues where guys can execute pitches. So the more selective he can get, he's going to be successful. There's no doubt about it. It's going to take major league at bats for him to get comfortable to getting those advantage counts. And when he does, he's going to do damage. But he's just going to go through some growing pains like we saw last year. But we have a ton of confidence that he's going to overcome those pains and turn into a great major league player. It's just a matter of giving him the time to do it.
We're talking to JJ Picollo here on 96.5 The Fan. You guys had a press conference earlier this week to make it official. Michael Garcia signing an extension with this organization. The part that really I thought was interesting too is you mentioned in 2024 you guys were maybe looking at possibly having an extension, and now you guys get it done.
Yeah, Michael's always been a really talented player that, with his athleticism and, you do have to project on things a little bit. He was a player that we felt like at some point we would be extending. But that discussion was in spring training, but it was more about career goals, what's important to you. And, at that time we did talk about, how do you secure your future? What do you need to do as a player? And the discussion and extension came up. We never got to the point that we actually tried to extend him. But what I respect, and we all respect about Michael so much, is that didn't affect him going into 25. He realized 24 wasn't what he wanted. He certainly showed us signs of becoming a really good player, but it wasn't the right time to extend him. And then he goes out in 25, super focused on the team, focused on what he needs to do as a player to help the team, puts up tremendous numbers, all-star, gold glover, silver slug finalist. You got MVP votes. So a lot of credit goes to him for preparing and learning from 24 and turning 25 into a great season. And then those extension talks became real.
What does that do just moving forward for you guys to have the left side of the infield locked down? You kind of know the cost, moving forward for that. How does that help you guys trying to build this thing out for years to come?
Well, it's nice that you have the left side taken care of for a lot of years. We don't have to think about a shortstop or a third baseman. And the nice thing there is I think what we know about those two is they're going to play great defense and the offense is going to be there. So there's a lot of security there. Then when you look at Vinny, we got Vinny for 3 more years, and all the other players that are Cags and Jensen for a number of years. There's a lot of players that are going to be in a Royals uniform for the foreseeable future. And that's a great thing for us. It helps us manage our payroll. It helps us do things like we did this morning, project out. Sometimes you hit points where, a 1-year contract is good for you. As much as we like extensions, a 1-year contract can be good. And Matt Strom is on a 1-year contract, but it's because of security and projection. We can almost tell now what we will need in 27 or 28 when you have some fixed numbers in your payroll.
I think that this means the next logical person we're going to ask about is Vinny Pasquantino, and whether or not those conversations start up now as well. I think for us, we always assumed that he was going to need to prove a full healthy year, but he has similar control to Michael Garcia. You could look at a similar type deal, I guess, is the one with him. So have you guys had any conversations with his team?
Vinny's a great player, and to this point we've gone year to year. What I'm really proud about with Vinny is this year was this first year of arbitration can be a tough year for a player because it's the first time they get a chance to make a significant jump in their salary. Vinny went out and killed it, and he's put himself in a great spot for the next 3 years. So it's something we're always thinking about. We're open to it. Discussions are loosely being had, but it's one of those that you take them one by one, and you see when the timing's right. So, we just want Vinny to keep putting up those numbers, and his future is very secure with the Royals, and we'll see where it takes us.
How does, the talk in 2027 with where the CBA may or may not be heading, the World Baseball Classic even in this particular spring. How do both of those, I know they're completely different conversations, I guess, but how do those impact just how you handle this offseason?
It didn't change anything for us. We've had a couple, we signed Sally back for 2 years. That didn't come into play. Signing Michael, that didn't come into play. So, for us, it's business as usual. I mean, there's a better chance that we will be playing than not at some point during the season. So, I really doesn't factor in for us. We got to treat everything like we're going to have a 2027 season, be optimistic that we don't miss any games. So that's how we negotiate contracts. That's how we work through it. The WBC is an exciting thing. I don't know, how this will all shake out in the long run, but I heard somebody earlier today on MLB Network, mention that maybe the WBC goes to the middle of the season at some point. As somebody who helps run a team, I would love that. Spring training is a difficult time, and it's more so about the pitchers. That's who it's more difficult on. It's not difficult for the position players. But we are in the entertainment business, and the WBC is very well received by fans all across the world. So it's a wonderful thing for our game. So it's definitely not going away. The challenges are for the pitchers, and we do have a couple pitchers that will be playing in the WBC this year. But fortunate for us, it's not starting pitchers, and they're the ones you worry about it. Well, Lugo actually is pitching, but he's done it before, so he knows how to get himself ready for it. But most of our guys that are playing are position players.
I guess do you ever have any conversations with the team managers of those? Because I remember like the Brady Singer, Bobby Witt, where essentially neither guy was playing. So like they were taking all this time off spring training, but they weren't playing at the time, and the issues that maybe that causes.
We do have discussions with the managers. Pitchers, it's about usage and pitch counts, and there's some rules in place that govern the WBC that help you protect the pitchers. But as far as playing time is concerned, that's just a risk that players have to take. That is a win-at-all-cost tournament. Every country wants to win. If you're playing well, pitching well, you're going to pitch, you're going to play. If you're not, you're probably not going to be in the lineup. I think in Bobby's case, it was just that he was the youngest player, I believe, on the USA team. And I think that was very much a primer for the USA, setting it up for Bobby to participate in the future. He was going to be a part of that team every time the WBC is played. So I think for Bobby, that particular year is more about the experience than it was about the playing time. And it certainly didn't hurt him being away for a couple weeks.
All right, lastly, JJ, the real important question of the day, how you feeling about your Eagles, though, heading into the postseason here in a few weeks?
Not so great. It's been a rough stretch, but hopefully, I know they played the Raiders last week, and hopefully that's what we saw against the Raiders is something that is a preview of what the offense could do again. They certainly have the talent on the team, and the defense is good. But let's finish strong these last 3 games and hopefully make a run in January.
So that was JJ Picollo with us earlier today, the general manager of the Kansas City Royals. A lot of stuff covered there, and we'll see. We'll see what the next couple weeks bring. They definitely have
Still
had their
one more
name
bat if it's available.
Yeah, their name mentioned to a lot of players, and I know there's